Well, a pleasant good evening, everyone, from Clipper Magazine Stadium. Glad to be back with you after taking the weekend off. Thanks to Eric May for jumping in my seat and doing a great job as always, along with Andrew Mossbrook, Dave Collins with you from Clipper Magazine Stadium. And tonight, the Barnstormers get to face the Sugarland Skeeters, the rabbit that they find themselves chasing right now in the Freedom Division. The Skeeters got off to a franchise record 7-0 start. They've come back down to earth a little bit after a couple of losses to the Somerset Patriots at the tail end of their opening homestand. The Barnstormers get their first look at Sugarland tonight. The Barnstormers are having a solid start to their season as well. Lancaster 6-4 on the campaign. They have won their last two series, lost a 5-game winning streak here on Sunday afternoon. So this could be a 3-game series between two of the heavyweights in the Atlantic League this season, and it's hard to stress the importance of a series this early in the season. When you've only got 63 games in the first half and you're playing the team that's a game and a half ahead of you in the standings, you want to at least win that series and get caught up. So the Barnstormers with an important 3-game series, and tonight the Barnstormers sending a guy who had a great start the first time out to the mound, Steve Johnson, 5 shutout innings against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs a week ago tonight, and he'll match up against a guy who threw 5 shutout innings in a win over the New Britain Bees in his Atlantic League debut, Ben Griset. Could be an interesting matchup here this evening. The Barnstormers getting the series underway against the Sugarland Skeeters. First of 3 here this week, 7 o'clock again tomorrow night, and 11 o'clock on Thursday morning. Earlier today, speaking of starting pitching, I caught up to a guy who is tied for the league lead in wins right now. Nate Reed is off to a great start here in 2018. He's beaten York twice, and we'll have Nate's comments for you in just a moment right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
Hi everyone, Adam Gochnauer here for Gochnauer Appliances in East Petersburg. We are as excited as you that it's baseball season, and we are thrilled to once again be partnering with your Lancaster Barnstormers. We are also excited this season to introduce some awesome new appliance colors on display now. Come and see the new colors of slate, black stainless, and black slate. These colors will give your kitchen a great look, and of course all of them are at the best prices around now at Gochnauer's. I'll be back after the break to tell you about our special Barnstormers summer promotions.
Welcome back to tonight's edition of the Gochenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Joining me is Barnstormers left-hander Matt Marksberry, part of the kind of varied bullpen that Ross Peoples has assembled this year. And Matt, your season off to a good start. You had that one kind of scare with your control a little bit off in York over the weekend, but certainly I've liked the way you've been throwing. How do you feel about it?
I feel good. I mean, it's just a process for me right now. I haven't been playing competitively for a little bit of a year since my shoulder injury and stuff like that. So for me, it's just getting the innings, workload, and I'm pretty happy with my results. I'm obviously that scare in York where I got the bases loaded, no outs, but I mean, I got through it and didn't give up a run. So that gave me a little bit of confidence boost going into this past series that we just had. So.
Well, you had to be competitive last night. You came into pretty dire circumstances. Second and third, nobody out, and the ball club already down 6-0 at that point. You got Joe Gardner out of that inning. It was part of what turned the tide in that ball game.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would just say, I've been the starter before, and then I've had things not go my way, and then get taken out of the game with guys on base, and I wouldn't want my reliever cashing in those runs, so I kind of did it for perspective of that. But also, if I help the team win, I help myself too. I mean, if I put up good numbers and do good, then I might have a shot to go somewhere too. But we also win, so it's a win-win for everybody. So,
how would you describe yourself as a pitcher?
I'm aggressive. I'm not afraid to throw my fastball. I have the mentality of even though I don't throw 100 miles an hour, I act like I do, and I'm just not afraid to throw heaters in the zone. I'm very contact orientated. I try to pitch for contact. It might not seem like that at sometimes, but I do try to pitch for contact because the odds are in my favor getting them out.
You've had a chance to pitch at the pinnacle of this game in Major League Baseball. Tell us about some of your favorite experiences there, the call-up, and what it was like pitching for the Atlanta Braves.
It was fun. I mean, it was a great organization, great people in that organization. My call-up was cool. It was an off day, and I was driving around, and I get a phone call from a number I didn't know, and I didn't realize it was my AAA manager. It was right during the trade deadline, so I thought I got traded. And then they go, yeah, you're going to meet the team up in Philly, so you need to hop on a plane. I'm sitting there going, like, what AAA team's in Philly? And then next thing you know, he's like, no, you're going to the big leagues. And I was like, oh, man. So I got off the phone, like, kept my composure, acted all cool, and then got off the phone, called my dad, and my dad, like, for like at least 30 minutes, he didn't believe me. He thought I was just joking with him. So, but no, I told him I was serious, and that's how it went down. So, I mean, it's a great experience, and it's an awesome experience. I'm hoping to do it again, so.
Well, obviously, that's why you're here. Last year, you got to pitch a little bit north of the border. Tell us about that experience in Quebec, Canada.
Oh, Quebec, Canada is different, man. Their main language up there is French. So, I mean, you got to really get used to parlez-vous anglais. Do you speak English up there? Because a lot of them do speak English, but they don't want to. It was good. It was a good experience, good competition up in the Can-Am League. There's some good players up there. The travel was okay. I mean, it's just I love Quebec. The city's beautiful. If you guys ever get a chance, you need to go to Quebec. They say it's like the most European city in the North American continent. So,
physical fitness, obviously, a big thing with you. Tell us a little bit about your regimen. Do you have special diets you live on or anything like that?
I actually I go in between a keto diet and a regular diet during the season to where I try to do really high fat, high omega-3s and like high protein diet, and I also try to get as much greens as I can. I'm really big on fitness because for me, I'm not a big tall guy. I'm not a physically big presence, so for me, I have to have strength behind me to throw in the 90s. So for me, I lift 4 to 5 times a week just to maintain what I built all in the off season. So yeah, physical.
Obviously, that was not Nate Reed. That was Matt Marksberry from the other night. Just dawned on me that was the case. So here now is the interview with Nate Reed. Welcome back to this edition of the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Joining me tonight is Barnstormers left-handed starter Nate Reed. And Nate, you have to be pleased with the way your season's going so far. A couple games under your belt, a couple wins under your belt against that team from the dark side of the river. So, great start for you.
Yeah, no, I can't be happy about the way things are going. You know, obviously it's tough coming in facing York twice with the team that pretty much won the league last year. They have a pretty good squad, and luckily I was able to throw well and keep us in the game and get wins out of those.
You know, you've been so far, the way the schedule has fallen, the designated Saturday night starter, and this team just seems to play its best on Saturdays.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for that. I don't know what's going on, but as long as I keep doing it, I'm happy with it. But yeah, I guess until we have that doubleheader coming up or a double off day, I think I'll be that Saturday guy.
Is it good to be in a rhythm as a starting pitcher? Kind of your past here, you've been sort of in the rotation, not in the rotation, in the bullpen, but this year, right from the get-go, in that number 3 slot in the rotation.
Yeah, no, I was happy that I talked to Peeps and he said he was going to put me in the rotation. I think this is the first year I was actually supposed to be in the rotation. So, yeah, routine I think is big for me, especially as I get older, so I can keep my body strong and my arm where it needs to be each start. Luckily, earlier in the year we have this once a week type thing, so you can kind of get in your rhythm, get your work in, and then once we stop having off days or have a 6-man or bump down to a 5-man, we'll get on a little bit of better routine.
You ended here on such a high note last year, that incredible start against the New Britain Bees, ruined by Jovan Rosa, one out away from a complete game shutout, but still a tremendous start, a 12 strikeout performance, and then poof, you were gone.
Yeah, I came in the next day, and Ross came and said, hey, I need to talk to you. He said the Giants they want to pick you up, and the pass is a pass now. But yeah, I was surprised actually, because I didn't think if it didn't happen after that start, I wasn't sure if it was going to happen at all. But luckily, I got an opportunity to go play for the Giants.
You had a bumpy start
with Richmond last year, but it seemed to iron out, and you finished strong.
Yeah, I was just getting used to the hitters. You know, you're going into a league where it's more free swingers, younger guys. You kind of got to learn to pitch to them. And the staff was actually good with it. They kind of knew what was going on. I wish I would have started better, but, you know, I think finishing strong will help me out with other teams, maybe at the Giants too.
And it's not like you were a stranger down there. It was Barnstormers South, as it turned out.
Yeah, that was actually nice because you got kind of go into a new team, knowing some guys, and obviously the manager was Kyle Haynes, so I played with him my first year here, and it was definitely nice going to a different team, knowing some guys that you've played with.
Still, the short drive down the road from Reading, it fits you well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I said it's tough to. I don't want to say the R word, but it's tough to think about it when you're only half an hour away from a pretty good league and pretty good family out here. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome being able to be this close and still play at a high level.
Yeah, this year's team, about half of last year's team back, you know, knew a lot of these guys in the clubhouse coming in, but it seems to have gelled pretty well early. You know, some different personalities, and you're always going to have that, but everything seems to have come together very early.
Yeah, I think with the different personalities, like you said, it's kind of everybody wasn't walking on eggshells the first couple days. I think we kind of broke the ice early, and everybody got along, and we really haven't had any issues yet, which is going to be good for obviously the start we've had and 100 games into it that we won't be getting underneath each other's skin. But for the most part, yeah, everything's been great, and even on and off the field has been awesome.
And one thing you've got a shot at this year, if you spend half the season here or better, you might be able to pass the mayor himself, Ross Peoples, as the all-time Barnstormers strikeout leader.
Well, anytime you can beat him in a record here at Lancaster, that's a good thing because I'm sure he has a whole bunch of them. But I didn't know that. But, yeah, if it happens, that'd be great. But, yeah, if definitely I can rub it in his face a little bit when I do it.
Well, I'll let you know when it happens.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nate Reed joining me tonight on the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Starting lineups coming your way next, right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Adam Gockenauer back with you again to tell you that we are back this season with Weber Gas Grills. We have the best selection and prices in the area on Weber, and if you mention this ad, you will receive 10% off all in-stock Weber accessories. Don't forget, we also fill your propane tanks here at the store. Don't waste money on exchanges when you can have us fill your tank and save you money. We are your appliance and gas grill headquarters. Come see us today on Main Street in East Petersburg or on the web at gockenauers.com.
Okay, John, shelves are stocked.
So are the new Fast Play games from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Just pick your game, get your ticket, and see if you've won.
Like Word Search, with top prizes of 20 grand.
Yep, winning's never been faster.
Not faster than me clearing these shelves.
Dude, I hope you're even faster at restocking.
Yeah.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Here are the starting lineups for this evening's ballgame. First for the visiting Sugarland Skeeters. They don't have too many familiar names in their lineup, but the guy at the top sure is. Anthony Giansanti off to another great start. He's leading off playing left field. Kyle Kubitsa is the right fielder batting number 2. Derek Norris will bat third. He'll catch. The cleanup batter of the league's hottest hitter at the outset of the season, first baseman Matt Chavez. Albert Cordero is back from last year. He's the third baseman batting fifth. Courtney Hawkins is the designated hitter. Hawkins is in the number 6 slot. It will be Barrett Barnes in center field batting 7th. The second baseman hitting 8th is Colin Walsh, and batting 9th and playing shortstop, the recently acquired Ray Navarro. He just signed today with Sugarland. On the hill is left-hander Ben Griset. Griset, a winner in his Atlantic League debut. He is a one-time Tampa Bay and New York Mets farmhand. For the Barnstormers, it will be the speedster Darian Sanford leading off in center. Tyler Bortnick will bat second tonight and play second base. The right fielder hitting third is Blake Galen. Joey Terdoslavich is the cleanup batter and the first baseman. It will be Ryan Castile batting fifth. He is the DH. Trayvon Robinson will be in left field and bat sixth. Anderson De La Rosa catching for the Barnstormers this evening and batting seventh. The shortstop hitting eighth is Vladimir Frias, and Carlos Garcia will make the start at third base, batting ninth. Steve Johnson on the hill, the former Oriole, with 5 shutout innings against Southern Maryland in his Atlantic League debut a week ago this morning. We do wish Kyle Waldrop well. Waldrop decided to retire from baseball following the game on Sunday, and he didn't get off to a great start and then caught fire. He had extra base hits in 4 games in a row, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, was starting to be the run producer the Barnstormers had hoped he would be, but he decided that at least the Atlantic League, it wasn't for him, if not the continuation of a baseball career. And we certainly wish Kyle all the best in whatever he chooses to do from here on out.
Yeah, one of the things I actually heard Kyle and having a discussion with Ross a little bit just before he left the doors at Clipper Magazine Stadium Sunday afternoon, and just said, you know what, I need time to be with my family. I need to be back home right now, and that's a decision that a player has to make, and you like when you have control over that situation. Guys come to this league, some to try and revive their careers, some to try and get back to where they want to be or where they once were. And for Kyle, he calls it quits for now, maybe for good. But he wants to be with his family right now, and credit to him for doing so.
We'll be back with play-by-play baseball coming your way next, right here on the Lancaster Barnstormers YouTube channel.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Find stories that will inspire and surprise. Cooperstown is where you, your family, and your friends can relive baseball's greatest moments and honor the all-time greats of the game. See all that the Hall of Fame and Museum has to offer and plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org.
Welcome back from Clipper Magazine Stadium, along with Andrew Mossbrooks, Dave Collins with you, as a new series gets underway. The Barnstormers, who are 6-4 on this young season, taking on the Sugarland Skeeters, now 7-2 here in 2018. Tonight, the first road game of the season for the Sugarland Skeeters, and trying to contend with them is right-hander Steve Johnson, a native of Baltimore, Maryland. His father, a former Baltimore Oriole himself. And Steve was able to make it to the major leagues with the Orioles. In fact, 4-0 with the Birds in his debut season. He has a career major league record of 6-1. And his Atlantic League career got off to a fine start a week ago at Southern Maryland. He threw 5 shutout innings, allowing only 3 singles. He walked 1 and struck out 5. But one time that he was in hot water, he made a great reactive defensive play. He was Braden Holtby, he was Matt Murray, you name it, in the National Hockey League. A wicked line drive by Joey Wong right back to the hill. He turned it into a double play, and that was the only time at all Johnson found himself in difficulty in that start against Southern Maryland. Backing him up defensively, Carlos Garcia's at third. The shortstop is Vladimir Frias. Tyler Bortnick at second. Joey Terdoslavich With the start at first base, Trayvon Robinson in left, Darian Sanford in center. Blake Galen will make the start in right field. Anderson De La Rosa has the nod behind the plate here in the opener of this 3-game series. Our umpiring crew tonight, Silvio Martinez calling balls and strikes. Bill Worthington is the first base umpire, and the man who will be the crew chief, Jorge Terran, will be the umpire over at third.
Will be interesting to see if Johnson can keep up the pitching performances from the Barnstormers. They've been lights out against that York team. You take 2 of 3, 30 strikeouts combined for Barnstormers pitching, and the starters accounted for 21 of those Ks in that 3-game set. So now you get a chance to see the measuring stick against the best team in the division. Let's see if that pitching can keep up.
Sugar Land is tops in the league in both batting and pitching. The Barnstormers are second in the league in batting and pitching, respectively. Here is right-handed hitting left fielder Anthony Giansani leading off. First pitch, fastball from Johnson upstairs. Ball 1, no strikes. Giansani batting .412, 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. I say left fielder, you can really put Giansani almost anywhere in the field, but since he's gone to Sugar Land from Bridgeport, largely used in the outfield. Johnson is inside with his next delivery. Ball 2 and no strikes. Steve Johnson, 6'1" and 225-pounder. Back into his windup, and the pitch hit into the air toward the left center field. Digging for it is Darian Sanford, backing up into the alley. He's there to make the catch. Giansani retired, 1 man down, and here is Kyle Kubica, the right fielder. Kubica also off to a tremendous start. It's hard getting through about the top 5 or 6 in the Sugar Land batting order without some damage being done. Kubica, left-handed batter, hitting .400. He is 8 for 20. Already 20 at-bats, 10 runs batted in. That is incredible production early on.
And some Major League Baseball experience for Kubica, too. You mentioned it, the Sugar Land lineup top-heavy.
Here's the delivery, and Kubica rakes this out to deep left center field. But again, there is Sanford, 2 up, 2 down. There's a tremendous amount of room toward left center field here. And with Sanford's speed, if you're Steve Johnson, you can get the ball hit in that direction. You're going to have a lot of outs behind you.
When you talk about Sanford, a lot of people talk about his speed on the base paths, but you forget about having him in the outfield like that because he can cover so much ground. And for a pitcher like Steve Johnson, that's what you like to see, 2 outs and right there a 1-pitch out.
The batter is Derek Norris, the catcher. He steps in 8 for 28 with 5 runs batted in. 2 outs, nobody aboard here in the opening frame. Johnson to the plate, and he slips it back to the inside corner. Some tailing action on the pitch, and he gets ahead of Norris. No balls and a strike. Wind tonight blowing straight out. No clouds in the sky. A very bright evening here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Pleasant temperatures. Now on to the outside corner from Johnson. He works ahead of Norris at 0-2.
Yeah, it's a sunglasses kind of night here at Clipper Magazine Stadium for the fans.
The wind and the Johnson pitch. This is elevated foul, straight back behind the plate and off the rooftop of the stadium. Bounces down directly in front of us. No balls, 2 strikes. The continuing count on Norris. Batting from the right side of the plate against the right-hander Johnson. Derek Norris, a 6-year major leaguer. He gets time from the home plate umpire, Silvio Martinez. Steve Johnson back into the motion, the pitch. And again, a pop-up. This is on the first base side toward the dugout. De La Rosa and Turdoslavich. Joey Turdoslavich with the catch. And the Barnstormers right-hander, Steve Johnson, making quick work of the Skeeters here on the top of the first. Nothing across. End of a half. Sugar Land nothing. The Barnstormers coming up.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu.
Robinson, speeding to the cycle lane is going to be $25,000 richer. One more time. Let's give it up for Megan. Good luck, Trayvon Robinson. Big thanks to God.
Here is left-hander Ben Griset making the start for the Sugarland Skeeters this evening. Griset is 26 years of age, out of Modesto, California, 6'1" and 198 pounds. He had some very respectable numbers in his days in the Tampa and New York Mets farm systems. His career earned run average is simply 2.81. That is outstanding from the left-hander. Last year, he spent the season with Double-A Binghamton in the Eastern League, 4-1 with a 2.39 earned run average there. But it's not always the numbers you put up. It's how you look, what they think your upside is. If it were all about a meritocracy, well, Ben Griset would be in Las Vegas this year, AAA with the New York Mets. He pitched as well as you could ask in their organization the past couple of seasons.
And you mentioned he has some experience with the Tampa Bay Rays as well in that organization. So, you know, one of the things with those pitchers, they come to independent baseball. Now they have a chance to maybe thrive a little bit. He's not the first one with some big experience to come here. Of course, K-Rod with the Long Island Ducks is back around. And
well, at any given time, there are about 50 to 60 major league players in the Atlantic League. Here's Darian Sanford, who is not one of them, but you never know, could get there. First offering to Darian, popped up foul out of play to the right side. No balls, one strike. Sanford checks in, batting .368 with 6 runs batted in. I think his offensive production has been a pleasant surprise since he has come to Lancaster. That was the mystery when he got here last year, but he is really, through working with Josh Bell, through working with Lastings Millage a year ago, he has really taken to hitting, and a guy who is a regular on the base paths and so dangerous once he gets there. Breaking ball is low, 1-1, the count to Sanford with Tyler Bortnick and Blake Galen to follow. Griset back into the motion. Here's the wind and the 1-1 offering. That snaps inside, and Darian has the advantage, 2 balls and a strike. Albert Cordero, the third baseman, way up on the grass defensively for Sugarland. Ray Navarro at short, Colin Walsh at second, Matt Chavez is the first baseman. 2-1. Sanford swings, bounces it toward third. Cordero had to be playing up. He does make the play and fires on to get Sanford 1 out. Tyler Bortnick will step in. If Cordero is back at a normal third base set, he doesn't make that play against Darian. That would be a base hit. You have to play Darian close. 1 out. Bortnick stepping in. Tyler Bortnick batting just .167 for the year. You wouldn't know it. He has been very productive. Has a double, a home run. And he has driven in 8 two-sacrifice flies already for Bortnick. 1 out, nobody on. We're scoreless here in the home half of the first inning. This is the first time that the Barnstormers have had to contend with this glare in a home game this year, but with so many players returning, a lot of them are used to it.
I was just about to ask you if that plays into effect for the pitcher, if that's a strength for the pitcher.
To Bortnick, here comes the 1-0. At the top of the zone for a called strike, it is 1-1. One thing you have to get used to in the Atlantic League is that the strike zone is the traditional strike zone. Yep. Across the letters. It's not lower. Yep. Down and in to Tyler Bortnick, 2 balls and a strike. Playing second base tonight, Rico Noel not in the lineup. The wind by Griset. He fires low to Bortnick, 3 balls and a strike. Ben Griset works from the far third base side of the rubber. The outfield for Sugarland, Anthony Giansani is in left. Barrett Barnes in center, and Kyle Kubica is the right fielder. Derek Norris doing the catching. Griset on the hill. 3-1 to Tyler Bortnick. The motion, the pitch, and that is just low. Ball 4. Bortnick with the base on balls, and it will bring on Galen. Blake has reached base safely in every game so far this year, and he is the franchise record holder for the longest on-base streak, which should come as no surprise because of all the walks he draws on top of being over a 300 career hitter in a Barnstormers uniform. He only reached base once, though, on Sunday. First time all year. He has been kept from reaching base 2 or more times in a game. Bortnick, the runner at first base. A modified shift is on against Galen. Throw will go to first, chasing Bortnick back. Tyler 2 for 3 in steals so far this year. Cordero, the third baseman, nowhere near the line. If Galen can punch a ball even slowly down the third baseline, he's got a double. Here's the motion. And to Blake Galen across the outside corner at the knees.
You know, one of the things with this team, and Ross Peoples assembled it as such, is it's a speed team. It's a team you have to watch out for when you're on base. I'd really be interested to see if the Barnstormers could lead the league in throws over to first in terms of drawing throws over to first, as this one's fouled back.
And Galen was aiming for that third base line. He fouled it off down the third base side. Blake Galen, generally a pull hitter in this ballpark because it favors him to be a pull hitter. But a guy who can handle the bat very well. You take Blake on the road, he swings for the opposite field very effectively. 2 strikes to him here against the left-hander. The breaking ball is chopped down the first base line, foul past the long reach of first baseman Matt Chavez. Will stay at no balls and 2 strikes. Joey Terdoslavich, the switch-hitting first baseman, is due to come to the plate next. The Barnstormers with a 1-out base runner on a walk here in the first inning. Blake Galen trying to advance Bortnick as far as he can. With a left-hander on the mound and a Major League veteran catcher in Derek Norris behind the plate, the Barnstormers may be a little bit cautious about running. Griset throws to first, and back in is Bortnick. But these are experienced base runners. And if they can pick up a tell from Griset, they can exploit it. Left-handers are either great or terrible at holding runners, generally speaking. 0-2 pitch in the dirt, the stop made by Norris.
Yeah, that's something that Sanford actually talked about over the weekend, too, in Saturday's game. And he's a confident kid, and he's one of those guys who says, you know what, you don't stop me, I'm just going to keep going. If you stop me once, you're going to have to stop me multiple times. I'm just going to keep running the bags. And he's one of many players on this team that can be so good on the base paths. Noel is also one, but, of course, not in the lineup tonight.
Well, 6 guys on this team have a 40 or more stolen base season in their past, and we're adding a 7th on Monday. And that's as much as I'm going to divulge.
Okay. I guess we'll wait for the mystery. I was wondering.
Another throw to first base. Bortnick is back in. But the guy coming in on Monday don't necessarily count for a lot of speed. There's a story here. And it's potentially a great story. We'll just see how it shakes out.
You're really teasing this one.
Fouled out of play along the third baseline.
A potentially great story.
1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Galen. Bortnick, the runner at first base with 1 out. Galen can stay in the batter's box for a while. Griset to the set. Pitch is popped up down the third baseline. It's a long way to go. That has a chance to fall in, and it does. Around second and holding on is Bortnick. Galen with a bloop base hit the other way. So the Sugar Land Skeeters pay a price for the defensive alignment. And now it is Joey Terdoslavich stepping in from the right side.
I almost wonder if maybe they lost it in the sun with it sort of blooping up like that.
I don't think they lost it in the sun. It's just the way the defense was shaded against Galen. They all had too far to go.
I think they were going for 2 there on the ground out. Is that what they were hoping for maybe? And they had the guy over from third.
Well, he just expected Galen to pull the ball.
Yeah.
And more often than not in this ballpark he's going to, but he mishit that and found a seam in the defense. Here's Terdoslavich trying to get the Barnstormers the early lead. The motion, and a breaking ball hangs up high and outside. Ball 1, no strikes.
And here's a guy who would like to get a good hit here Friday. Of course, the first 2 pitches he saw in Clipper Magazine Stadium were out of the park. And after that, he had a play that was overturned and given a hit Saturday, and no luck Sunday.
257 for Terdoslavich with the 2 home runs. Looks at a fastball for a strike. And the count will even at 1-1. Barnstormers, for the moment, without Waldrop here, have to count a little more. on Terdoslavich, and the man on deck, Ryan Castile. Into the dirt. Again, the save made by Norris. Terdoslavich with the advantage, 2 balls and a strike. With Bortnick now at second base, the Barnstormers do have the option of the double steal. A right-handed batter at the plate, shielding the throw. Norris would have to step around the hitter. Infield set up a double play depth for Sugarland. First and second, Terdoslavich with the advantage in the count. Griset peering in to Norris for the side, and they take too long to come to agreement. Terdoslavich backs away.
And they're giving some decent leads off the bags here at first and second or Sugarland, so you get that. You can maybe create that double steal, and now you don't have to worry about being doubled up. That gives an advantage to the Barnstormers.
2 balls, 1 strike. Griset will back off the rubber. He's trying to get an idea what Bortnick is up to out at second base.
Yeah, he's not the first pitcher to do that, too. Severino on Saturday night for the York Revolution at one point had 8 pitches thrown over to first to cover Darian Sanford. So opposing teams know what they have to do when you got some speedy guys on the bags.
Bortnick, a long lead off second, pulls up Terdoslavich with a swing and a miss.
Think he could have went there?
I think he was trying to distract Griset more than anything else.
Okay.
But if he had thought about going, he pulled up. He didn't like the situation. Terdoslavich batting at 2-2. First and second, 1 out for the Barnstormers here in the opening inning. Left-hander looks back at Bortnick, now ready, and a 2-2 off the inside edge. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch count is starting to run awfully high early for Griset. 20 pitches thrown here in the first inning.
Yeah.
And still only 1 out.
Well, and I know for Ross Peoples, he said that, first time around 70 pitches, second time 85 for their starters. I'm not sure what Sugarland's looking at.
Yeah, Hall threw over 90
in
the game Sunday. The runners go. The pitch is high, ball 4. Terdoslavich draws the second walk issued by Griset in the inning. And designated hitter Ryan Castile will step in. Castile at .333 with a pair of home runs and 4 runs driven in. Derek Norris is going to jog out to the mound and talk to Ben Griset. In tow, the plate umpire, Silvio Martinez.
Castile 6 for his last 18 over the past 4 games. 2 home runs included in those. So they know that they have to be careful with a guy at the plate right now. The double play option is still available now with Terdoslavich over to first. But certainly a prime quality opportunity for the Barnstormers, and this is what this team wants to do, especially after having that 5-game win streak snapped and where they were scoring so many runs. Get a couple right here in the first inning to set the tone.
2 walks around a blue pit. Now it's up to Castile to cash in. Does not want to hit the ball on the ground here.
No.
Griset to the set. And the pitch bounced. Derek Norris is getting quite the workout in back of the plate.
Yeah.
Ball 1, no strikes to the designated hitter Castile, who has succeeded in that role.
De La Rosa on Sunday had quite a bit of work, too. He got dinged up with a couple of balls.
On deck, another switch hitter in Trayvon Robinson. The third out of the 5 in the lineup this evening. Swing and a miss. The bat goes flying.
Not into the stands, though, so that's a positive.
Stays on the field of play.
I was at a Phillies game yesterday, and Buster Posey's bat went over the third base screen, about 10 rows back, flying.
We had an infielder here for 4 years, Lance Zawadsky, who became legendary. He'd go through spurts where that bat would just fly out of his hand and end up in the first base seats. 1-1 now to Castile. Foul ball right at home plate.
Now here you have to give the bats back.
Yes.
Correct? Well,
balls you can keep, bats no.
Okay, well that fan left with a Buster Posey bat. That's a pretty nice souvenir to have. Well, maybe not a black eye to go with it, but.
Ryan Castile at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bortnick at third. Galen leads off second. Terdoslavich off first. No score. Lower half of the first inning. Castile gets ball 2 inside. 2-2. Lancaster has yet to make solid contact against this left-hander. He has gotten himself in all kinds of trouble, though, with his control.
I was about to say that. They don't need to. The guy's struggling to get command of his fastball, especially. All over the zone and out.
Castile awaits the 2-2. It's on the way and lined out the left field. Diving try at the last by Giansani. He's able to make the catch. Tagging up from third is Bortnick. He will make the play. And the Barnstormers draw first blood here tonight. Castile with a sacrifice fly that came within an eyelash of being a 2 or 3 run double out there and left. That ball hooked on Giansani. He may have lost it with the sun beating back off the windows of the skyboxes, and at the very last possible instant, he reacted to that play and made what was ultimately a great diving catch, but couldn't keep a run from scoring.
Yeah, and sometimes with that sun, and you're taking a risk making that diving play because you miss it. That's clearing the base paths.
Trayvon Robinson steps in. He's 8 for 28 with an RBI. The other runners holding at first and second. Trayvon taking a pitch down low. Ball 1, no strikes. Castile hit that ball well. It hooked, and I think that Giansani was blinded for a moment.
Yeah, I
judging
agree with
by
that.
the reaction. One and 0 to Robinson, swinging a ball ripped down the left field line, foul and scattering the Sugarland bullpen.
There was a ball hit Sunday by the York Revolution, and the way it looked is that the ball hit off the left field post, and therefore should have been a home run. And the bullpen was actually trying to make their case over to the third base umpire, but that did not happen. And I actually thought, Eric May, who was with me, I think we both kind of thought the same thing, that was a home run.
Robinson bats 1-1, draws ball 2 off the inside corner.
But in a league with no instant replay, it's all up to the naked eye to catch that. A lot of high pitch counts here.
The naked eye and the naked ear.
Yeah.
If you're out on the field, you can
hear
hear
that.
the ball hits metal or wood or whatever. 2 balls and a strike. Robinson fists it foul down the right side and out of play. 2-2. 6th batter in the lineup for the Barnstormers, who have scored 1 here in the opening inning. They got Galen at second and Terdoslavich at first.
Has Griset hit 30 pitches?
I have him for 30. Let me
Okay.
check the official blotter if I could see.
Yeah. Give it a couple hours. Maybe 1 hour.
Probably an hour at this
Yeah.
rate. Time called. Robinson will once again back away, but regardless, a lengthy bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barnstormers batters being smart here, just working that pitch count and working their pitch selection.
2-2 to Robinson. Griset ready to go. The delivery breaks just low and inside.
That was close.
3-2. We have a couple of umpires in this league who don't really signal that called third strike very noticeably, and I forgot Martinez's tendencies. This is the first time I've seen him behind the plate, and for a split second I wasn't so sure.
Yeah.
It's now 3-2. The runners will be going. Griset to the plate, and it's spanked right to the shortstop. One quick hop to Navarro. He'll deal it across the diamond to end the inning. Hard hit by Trayvon Robinson, but no dice for him. However, the Barnstormers do pick up 1 run, 1 hit. With no errors, they leave 2, and at the end of an inning tonight, 1-0 Lancaster.
Localflavor.com, local flavor, localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com too. And you can get them right on your phone thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Come on, everybody. Localflavor.com. Local Flavor. Localflavor.com. Local Flavor.
Along with Andrew Mossbrooks, Dave Collins with you from Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Lancaster Barnstormers have spotted Steve Johnson to a 1-0 lead as we enter the top half of the second inning. And leading off will be a guy whose numbers are somewhere in the stratosphere or beyond. We're trying to find them with the Hubble telescope, actually. Matt Chavez, the first baseman, will be leading off, and this guy is terrorizing Atlantic League pitching. And we talked about all the major leaguers on both sides. Well, this is, with the exception of a couple of short stretches, a career independent league guy. But Matt Chavez is 19 for 33, batting .576 with 6 doubles, a home run, and 5 runs batted in.
Now, when a guy is doing that early in the season, if he keeps it up just, say, another few weeks, is this a guy you don't expect to be here long?
But
again, you say he's
Major League Baseball, it's how they scout.
Yeah.
If he keeps putting those numbers up, an organization may come calling. It's happened for Blake Galen, who got started in the indie circuits, and there's a line drive on the first pitch, base hit to left field over the head of Vladimir Frias.
That average is dancing with 600 now.
The Matt Chavez flight just keeps soaring here in the Atlantic League. He's a guy that Pete Ignavillian knew from the American Association. Last year he hit .330 there with 17 home runs and 84 runs batted in. He has been a top player in the Pacific Association, but to this point it hasn't necessarily translated into affiliated baseball. He's been at the single A level with San Diego and San Francisco, again, for very short periods of time.
Yeah, going back to 2015, last appeared in the minors there. High A Lake Elsinore.
Pitch in the dirt, gets away from De La Rosa. On the second goes Chavez. And Sugarland in position to come right back and tie things up. At the plate is the switch-hitting third baseman Albert Cordero, who is a catcher by trade. At Sugarland is slightly short right now on position players. Cordero can play third. We've seen him there in the past. And in the lineup at that position this evening. Courtney Hawkins, the designated hitter, is on deck, and then center fielder Barrett Barnes. At second, Chavez with nobody out. The pitch is again low, and Cordero bats at 2 balls and no strikes.
Cordero going hitless for the first time this season on Sunday in the loss to the Somerset Patriots for Sugarland. Previously hit in the first 8 games of the season. Batting .367, that is 8th in the Atlantic League.
He gets another pitch down low, 3-0. Steve Johnson working into some trouble here in the second inning. His first pitch ridden into left field for a base hit. Now he has been low, 3 straight to Cordero. Garcia, the third baseman, is up on the grass. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That is again low, ball 4. And runners are at first and second for Courtney Hawkins.
Although you do put a double play position up for Hawkins to come bat, so maybe they try to induce a ground out here. But rule of thumb in baseball history will tell you you probably don't want to put your first 2 batters on first and second.
Hawkins, right-handed batter, stepping in. .265 average with 2 home runs, 6 runs driven in. Johnson comes to the set. He'll go to work and twirl it outside and low. Ball 1, no strikes on Hawkins, who is exclusively a right-handed batter. With a new manager at Sugarland, certainly a huge turnover on the roster. 1-0 pitch. That is hit high in the air to deep right field. Backing up, Galen. Galen pressed against the wall. He'll look up, and the wall will not contain it. Courtney Hawkins steps into Clipper Magazine Stadium and figures out how to utilize that short porch out there in right field, a 3-run homer And the hot-hitting Sugarland Skeeters take a 3-1 lead.
This ball's down and in. And you talk about batters that want to pull pitches over that right field because it's short and it's so hitter-friendly, and that's a case right there. And, now you look back and you say, well, the Barnstormers had bases loaded. They got one run out of it. And this is what Ross was talking about Sunday. You wanted to focus more on York, but you still have to give a little bit of attention to Sugarland and just understanding that, yes, it's very early into a long baseball season, but this is the measuring stick right now. This is first place, and it's now time to see where we size up with them.
Johnson to the plate, and it's fouled off by Barnes for a strike, 0-1. Barrett Barnes, the first guy in the lineup who isn't tearing up the Atlantic League, at least not yet. 219 hitter with 2 runs banded in, but he's the guy you've got to watch out if he does get on base. Ball inside from Johnson. It is 1-1. Courtney Hawkins with the 3-run home run, native Texan, out of the White Sox organization. Now inside to Barnes. Johnson, who had a breezy time in the first inning, struggling here in the second.
Yeah.
He goes back to work. Fastball finding the inside part of the plate. 2-2 on Barnes. Colin Walsh, the second baseman, waits on deck.
Do you think when a pitcher has something like that, you walk a guy hits, guy homers, that you start to nibble a little bit more at the plate?
You can. It's also tough pitching in here. Big looping curveball missing.
Just never
3
broke.
balls and 2 strikes. But that short porch is always in play, and you have to learn to pitch away from it here, but you can't overdo it or you become a mess. Now he is low with ball 4 to Barnes.
So kind of what you were just talking about there, 2 walks in the inning.
Barnes 4 for 4 stealing bases. In will step the second baseman, Colin Walsh, who's only batted once so far this season. Walsh, a switch hitter, is 0 for 1 on this young campaign. Getting the chance to start here tonight. Got to keep an eye on Barnes. De La Rosa, fine arm behind the plate. But finally, you caught somebody stealing just the other day. Runner holds, and it is up high to Walsh. Ball 1 and no strikes. Didn't see any of this out of Steve Johnson last week.
Yeah.
He was in control with the exception of a 3-batter stretch in the 3rd inning. He just mowed down Southern Maryland. Tonight, a different story.
Well, and it's a different team, right? And quite
Different
the difference
team
in talent.
and different ballpark. Popped up by Walsh. Should result in the first out in the inning. Backing up on it to the edge of the outfield lawn is Frias. He is there to make the grab. Walsh retired, 1 out, and now the Atlantic League will get its first look at Ray Navarro, who just signed today.
Yep, made his 2018 debut with AAA Takuma. Went 2 for 27 with a home run, 6 RBIs. And actually, as you had mentioned earlier in our Gockenauer pregame show, also had some time with the Baltimore Orioles.
10 games back in 15. 1 out, 1 on. Navarro stepping in left-handed. Johnson comes set. He starts him off with the big hook and gets it there. A strike called, 0-1. 3-1 Sugarland, top of the second inning on the Courtney Hawkins home run. He went oppo over that short porch and right. Not really much wind right now to help out those fly balls. Friday night was a different story. You got it up in the air to right field Friday night, it was gone.
Saturday there was a decent amount of wind kicking in too. And then Sunday it wasn't wind, it was just rain every other inning, it felt like.
1-1 to Navarro. Anthony Giansani waits on deck. Throw goes to first base, and Johnson throws it away. Terdoslavich and Bortnick both hustle after it, and they retrieve it about the time Barrett Barnes settles in to second base. So it's an E1. Charge to Johnson. Takes away the potential of the double play ground ball here. The count is 1-1 on Navarro, and Sugarland with the opportunity to tack on a 4th run. Barnstormers beginning the evening with a team ERA of 3.31. Barnes takes off for third, swing and a miss. De La Rosa, clean throw, and the tag by Garcia in time.
Great throw. Great throw by De La Rosa.
Barnes out, stealing 2-5. De La Rosa now has nabbed 2 in a row. And that leaves Navarro at the plate with 2 outs and the base is empty. A count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Anderson De La Rosa has a great arm.
Yeah, and now a chance for Johnson to kind of minimize the damage here. It's a different at-bat with a 1-2 count and a runner at third than it is with nobody on.
Down and in for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Navarro. A native of Puerto Rico from Caguas, plays all the infield positions. Swing, and that is fouled at the plate. Rolling out toward first base, I believe, off the shin guard of Anderson De La Rosa.
You would be correct.
He will shake that one off as Silvio Martinez walks the baseball out to the mound. The standard courtesy protocol between the men wearing the masks back there. If the ball gets the umpire, the catcher will go out to the mound.
I do not envy anybody behind home plate.
They're in the danger zone down there. 2-2 to Navarro. Johnson into the line, kicks and fires. Fouled again. De La Rosa couldn't quite handle it. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is a good signing, too, I think, for Sugarland with Ray Navarro. Experience of 12 seasons in affiliated minor league baseball. Several teams.
He's been around Arizona, Kansas City, Cincinnati, the Orioles, the Angels, and as you mentioned, started this year in the Seattle farm system. 2-2 again. Fouled over the screen.
And when you have that kind of experience, you do things like this, a professional at-bat, 8th pitch coming up of this AB for Navarro. And a Sugarland team that, already, I don't know if you want to call them top heavy. They've got hitters all around, and they get a little bit more help with this guy.
Again, the 2-2. That curveball bounces inside, filling out the count on Steve Johnson and Ray Navarro. 3-2. The outs in the inning on a pop-up and a runner being thrown out stealing. Here's a payoff, fouled away again. There has yet to be a ball hit on the ground against Johnson. The 4 batters he has retired have all been the result of balls hit in the air. 3-2, and that's another one hit in the air. Back it goes, and the walls will not contain it. Navarro with a longer home run than Hawkins. A solo shot on the 3-2 pitch, hit toward the right field line.
Yeah, first at-bat with Sugarland looked pretty good there, and you're looking for professional at-bats here if you're this team, and this was a 10-pitch AB. Navarro waiting on it, and that's what guys do. They sit on a certain pitch. He gets one down. It breaks a little, but didn't have enough bite on it, and he pulls a pitch out to right, and now all of a sudden it's a 4-1. It's a 4-1 game, and on top of it, we were criticizing Ben Griset, who had a 30-plus pitch first inning. Well, this has not fared much better for Steve Johnson of Lancaster.
Ross Peoples will go out and offer some advice to Steve Johnson. Nobody knows more about pitching in this ballpark than the 10-year Barnstormer left-hander who now happens to be running the show.
What do you tell a guy in this kind of situation? This inning's sort of unraveling.
I think shake it off because home runs happen here.
Yeah.
You can try and pitch away from them, and you learn as time goes by how to do that. But early on in this ballpark, just shake them off. They happen.
I think look, it's not Coors Field. You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
Well, you only have one dimension where it's Coors Field.
Yeah.
You get the ball hit like Johnson did in the first inning to left center field.
Yeah.
You can go with that all day. Here's Jansani, who flew out in that direction first time up. Slapped the third, knocked down to the backhand by Garcia. Low throw, not handled by Ternaslovich, and that keeps the inning going. It'll be an error charged to Garcia, and Sugarland's still alive here in the second. That just doesn't help the cause right there. When you're a pitcher who's struggling and you have the chance to get that third out in an inning, you get the ground ball finally. It doesn't happen. Now you've got to come up against a veteran left-handed batter in Kubica. He flied to center his first time up. It's 4-1 Sugarland, plenty of time for the Barnstormers to come back in this game, but Johnson needs that third out here in the second inning.
And Garcia needs to make that throw to help his pitcher out. You know, he's beating himself up over that one.
Kubica takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Joey Turdoslavich is generally a vacuum cleaner at first base, but he got the worst possible hop on there because it was so in between.
Yep.
He couldn't short hop it, he couldn't long hop it, and just could not quite control it.
I was thinking the same thing. If it breaks maybe a few feet, maybe 3 feet in front of him, he's going to pick it up.
Kubica takes strike 2 on the inner part of the plate. Now Johnson has him, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, work with this one now. You're ahead in the count.
A lengthy 4-run inning. Kubica, the 8th man to step in for Sugarland. Johnson comes set and to the plate. A ball is outside, 1-2. 4-1.
Hey, at least that sun's coming down a little, right?
We're just in the top half of the second inning. The game almost 3/4 of an hour old.
Yeah. Never a good sign usually when you're still in the second.
Steve Johnson ready to go. 1-2, nubbed toward third. Garcia will pick it up and throw to second, getting the force out. Giansani retired 5-4 there, but a productive second for Sugarland, picking up 4 runs on 3 hits. The error proved to be harmless, and 1 man left on base. Bottom of the second coming up, it's 4-1 Skeeters.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS 350 and IS 300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark. The Sugarland Skeeters with the big blow. The Barnstormers only a sacrifice fly. Both teams have been able to stack base runners in the early going. Sugarland with the 4-1 advantage. Anderson De La Rosa will get things underway in the Barnstormers half of the second. De La Rosa off to a sluggish start at the plate. He is just 3 for 25 so far. He does have a home run on the season. He'll be followed by Vladimir Frias and Carlos Garcia. Ben Griset staked to the 4-1 lead into his motion, and a De La Rosa first pitch off the inside corner. Ball 1, no strikes.
Now, if there's a positive, even though you're down by 3 runs, it's you hope that Griset runs into some of the trouble that he had in the first inning there.
Down low for ball 2, 2-0. This
start.
ball game has already seen 4 walks.
Yeah.
And we have yet to watch our first strikeout.
4 walks, 2 home runs, no strikeout. It's a weird one.
The 2-0 upstairs and ball 3 to Anderson. So Griset living in the lap of luxury with that 4-run inning, but he may have had to sit too long, and he has missed with his first 3 offerings this inning. There's a strike piped in there to De La Rosa, 3-1. Ross Peoples coaching third for the Barnstormers. Josh Bell over at first. The motion 3-1. De La Rosa hits a high fly ball to left. This should be easy for Giansani. Just a few steps to his left, and the left fielder puts it away. One gone. And here's Vladimir Frias, the shortstop. 344 for Vlad with no home runs and 2 runs batted in.
Yeah, well, Frias is one of those guys that's that small ball player. You know, he's not going to have a lot of pop to his bat in terms of getting it out of the yard, but this team is built for small ball, really. They've got some power guys, but most of those power guys have speed, and most of their guys are speed. So, you know, here's a guy, just get him on base, kind of like Sanford and many others. Just get on base and start running.
The fourth of the 5 switch hitters in the Barnstormers batting order tonight. First pitch strike clips the outside corner from Griset.
That certainly helps when going against a lefty on the mound, having those switch hitters present.
Keenan Walker, the one guy who is not among the switch hitters. Fastball poured in there. Griset has found the strike zone. It had been missing. 0-2. The line, Frias chops it the other way. Stays low, but Chavez, the first baseman, sticks with it and hustles to the bag for the second out. 3 unassisted. Carlos Garcia will step in.
Well, you had mentioned that, you know, he had been missing, but what you also brought up is that now there's afforded for Ben Griset a 3-run luxury there. You've got a little bit of wiggle room, and you'll see that with a lot of pitchers. If maybe they start out a little shaky, but their team picks them up, you know, it's easy to settle in.
4 in a row, retired by the left-hander. Garcia got off to a fast start. He was 5 for his first 7. Hitless since then, 5 for 13 total. First pitch from Griset, over for a called strike. It is 0-1. Sugarland leading by 3 here in the bottom of the second inning, thanks to a pair of home runs in the top of the frame. Navarro's was prettier. Hawkins was more beneficial for Sugarland.
Agreed.
Fouled out ahead of the plate off of the foot of Carlos Garcia. It's 0-2.
Only his second at-bat against a lefty this season, and sometimes guys struggle with those southpaws, but 0-2, I mean, you just got to kind of pick up everybody. This is the next man up mentality right now. When you're down by a few runs, just guy before you gets out, all right, you got to bring it up. You got to keep this inning going.
Barnstormers have had some big innings early this season. They don't necessarily need one here. They just need to chip away. Fastball swing and a miss. Griset coming up and in, nothing across in the lower half of the second inning. We're done with 2, and it's still 4-1 Sugarland.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all-you-can-eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Okay, John, shelves are stocked.
So are the new Fast Play games from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Just pick your game, get your ticket, and see if you've won.
Like word search, with top prizes of 20 grand.
Yep, winning's never been faster.
Not faster than me clearing these shelves.
Dude, I hope you're even faster at restocking.
Yeah.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Catcher Derek Norris will start things off against Steve Johnson in the third. Norris fouled out to first baseman Joey Terdoslavich back in the first inning. York's off to an 8-2 start at Southern Maryland. They're just in the top of the fourth inning tonight. Road Warriors leading Somerset. Second trip to TD Bank Ballpark for the roadies. 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth. New Britain up 2-1 over Long Island in the fifth inning. Our first pitch is low to Norris. Ball one and no strikes. And Johnson right now seems to be in a little bit of a rut, trying to throw that low strike here and missing below the knees. This one swung on and missed. It is 1-1. And there are all kinds of pitfalls for pitchers in this ballpark with that 300-foot dimension down the right field line, and no one has ever actually gone out there and measured it to the right center alley. But my belief is it's about 350. There's another fly ball hitting that direction. Galen going back, but he's got this one gauged on the track. He'll make the catch against Norris for out number one. Sugarland coming in here, seeing that short dimension to right, and they are attacking it, largely succeeding.
Yeah, that one was just, a couple steps shy of what would have been out of here again, or at least off the wall for a double. You mentioned it, they're seeing this park, and all of a sudden they're playing like it's the Holden team. They know it well, and for Johnson, what a difference an inning can make, right? Had an 8-pitch first inning, no trouble, then 30-plus in the second inning, 4 runs aside. Now it's just about minimizing the damage and keeping your team in it.
Johnson goes to work on Chavez, and the big breaking ball is low, 1-0. Matt Chavez ripped the first offering of the second inning into left field for a base hit. Total 42 pitches thrown by Johnson so far. He comes back, swing and a miss here. Again, a wrinkle on it. Went from the big curveball, that looked more like a cutter or a slider from the right hand.
I was going to say the curveball is looking about high 60s. That one came in at 78.
Johnson, in his career, has struck out a lot of batters, but it's more the assortment than being a power pitcher. 1-1, taken out to right field. Galen will have it in front of him on a bounce. Quick throw to first will be late.
Good effort.
Chavez with the base hit to right. He is 2 for 2 now, and his average only up to 600.
Jeez.
21 out of 35. Yeah. Albert Cordero will step in. He picked up a walk back in the second inning. 1 out, 1 on here in the third.
We know it's early. I mean, this is only the 10th game of the season for Sugarland, but, man, maybe this team is the real deal.
And the question for Pete Ingavilla is how long can he keep it together?
Yeah.
Because the hotter you start, the more likely you are to get players picked up.
Right.
Their contracts purchased, and then you've got to retool. He's got a lot of connections. He's been in the other indie leagues before, and that can be beneficial. High fly ball towards center field for Cordero. Over toward left center, drifts Sanford. Darian's there. Chavez will hold on at first base. 2 outs in the inning. Now Courtney Hawkins will step in. Hawkins with the 3-run home run back in the second.
Yeah, that was a big at-bat, and you mentioned it in the bottom of the second inning, is that Hawkins, not the prettiest one. Navarro's was the more shiny piece, but certainly the one that mattered most as he was able to get 3 across the plate.
Chavez leading off first. The pitch to Hawkins, fouled to the screen. The older part of the screen, we do have the extended netting down to the dugouts on both sides.
Is that a thing across minor league baseball now? I know the majors are doing it.
Yeah, it's across baseball. The Atlantic League teams were left on their own, but if everybody else is doing it, it's kind of incumbent upon you to do it as well.
Right.
Swung on and missed. Big advantage for Johnson against Hawkins this go-around. No balls, 2 strikes to the right-handed batter. Johnson comes set, and to Hawkins, there's the big curveball, but Steve, to this point, has not been able to tantalize the Sugarland hitters with that pitch or get it in the zone.
And the problem with that curveball is if it hangs too much and it does get to the zone, they're going to see that one and send it out of here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. There it is again, a check swing and a pop-up back of third. Carlos Garcia fades into foul territory. He makes the catch. Again, for the most part, the outs are in the air behind Steve Johnson tonight. Effective third, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're through 2.5. It's 4-1 Sugarland.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL Hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
Darian Sanford will try to ignite the Barnstormers here in the third. Out on a chopper to the third baseman, Cordero, leading off the ball game for the Barnstormers. And Cordero is giving no ground. He is going to stay right there, a good 20 feet ahead of the third base bag against Sanford. The motion, the pitch, and Darian looks at one upstairs. Ball 1, no strikes.
Well, if there's a guy that can help this team right now, it is certainly Sanford, a man who's reached base in every game played. 7 steals in his last 6 games. He leads the league in that category.
The pitch tickles the outside corner. It's 1-1. Sanford, as a Barnstormer, 53 stolen bases in 69 career games.
Yeah, those are some otherworldly numbers.
That is at a pace that would set the Atlantic League record if spread out over a 140-game schedule. Sanford doesn't have that opportunity with the Road Warriors in the league this year, only 126 games. The league record, 104, set by Somerset's Billy Hall back in 2000. Ground ball towards shortstop, charging the play Navarro. He'll scoop and he'll throw. Sanford out on a slow bounder the second time in a row in this game. Just did not get a good start out of the box there, and also batting right-handed, so he's got that extra step to take. They've gotten him both times, 1 out. Tyler Bortnick, the hitter now. Bortnick walked and scored the lone Barnstormers run back in the first inning. 4-1 Sugarland here in the bottom of the third. Griset has settled down from a shaky beginning and retired 6 in a row. The wind and the pitch to Bortnick. Soft line drive right into the glove of Ray Navarro.
Couldn't play it any better, right?
Yeah, it sounded like the bat broke on that as well. 2 outs, and Galen will step in. Blake has the lone Barnstormer base hit. Somewhat of an accident. They had the shift on against him. Galen mishit a pop fly that dropped in no man's land down the left field line. And they're going to be a little bit more conservative here with that shift. Cordero is still well off the third base line, but not as far as he was that first time around. Upstairs to Blake, ball 1 no strike. But I would have to say, if he hits that same ball, it's going to be the same result. And perhaps a double here because 2 outs and nobody on in front of him.
Yeah, just got to keep looking that opposite way down the third base line.
1-0 to Galen. Below the knees and ball 2. Two outs, nobody on base here in the bottom of the third. Lancaster down by 3. The Barnstormers struck first tonight on a Ryan Castile sac fly, and Sugarland broke out the home run bats, discovering the right field wall here at Clipper Magazine Stadium and the Haller Picnic Pavilion to be very much to their liking.
Yeah. A
pair of home runs in the top half of the second inning, including a 3-run blast by Hawkins. Blake Galen bats 2-0.
Well, you mentioned it's going to happen. You just hate when it happens in your ballpark from the other team.
High and outside. Blake takes it to 3-0. Galen coming into tonight with 11 bases on balls for the season and 22 trips to the bases in 10 games. Make it 24 now. Ball 4 is inside. A single and a walk for him tonight.
And now you got Joey Turdoslavich up, and a guy who has some power and also has the ability to get it over the right wall.
Turdoslavich with a walk back in the first inning. Well, effective right-handed batters in this ballpark will learn to go the other way.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you know what's funny is for the guy like this, he's an effective batter. He's a power bat. This Turdoslavich, he takes one upstairs for a ball here. But, you know, people think in the game, look, start has not been what it was. It was an ugly second inning in favor of Sugar Land, but you get one good swing here. It's a one-run game. And you're right back in it.
Galen leads from first. The offering to Turdoslavich, swinging a foul ball at home plate. Took a chunk out of Norris's mask. And here comes the broom. Didn't look like home plate was terribly dirty there, but
No.
Silvio Martinez is going to give Derek Norris a little bit more of a break. So some housekeeping time for Martinez.
Yeah.
And a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Joey Turdoslavich. Ryan Castile waits on deck.
Turdoslavich 4 for 12 against York. Those 2 home runs came Friday night, back-to-back.
Throw to first base, and Galen back in. Blake has not been terribly successful on the bases so far this year.
That's one of few on this team, right? Everybody can run.
He's second all-time in Barnstormer's career stolen bases. Only Quincy Foster's ahead. A weak swing and a pop-up foul ground over on the first base side. Norris and Chavez chase but can't get to it. Turdoslavich is batting at 1-2. You talk about the short porch and the short dimension to right field here. Gabe Jacobo, the guy who hit the walk-off home run for the Barnstormers to win the 2014 championship, could not take advantage of it until the very end of that season, and we joked about it a lot, and then lo and behold, he hits one into the screen that was out there to protect Home Run Harbor in the past, and the walk-off home run, the last at-bat he ever took. He retired after that season.
You know, one other thing with Turdoslavich, and now it's 2-2 in the count, is, you know, looking at the last couple of games in the score sheet, he's fallen behind in a lot of counts. I know he's a good hitter, but 1-2, 0-2, and a few of these last 8 at-bats that he had.
And that's very often the pitcher. 2-2 here. Joey swings, lines this to left field. He's got a base hit. Galen will motor on ahead to second, make a wide turn, trying to draw a bad throw. It doesn't work. First and second with 2 gone. Bringing on Castile. Castile with a sac fly back in the first inning. There's no telling, Andrew, how different this game would be right now had it not been for that great last-second reaction by Anthony Giansani on the Castile line drive.
Yeah, I agree. We might be talking a tie game right now or a 3-4 game, and the Barnstormers are more in striking position, but can't do anything about it now. He's got a 4-game hitting streak, does Castile, and hopefully he can continue.
Breaking ball lined out the left end, sinking in a hurry. Giansani slides, and Giansani makes a heck of a catch for the second time in a row against Ryan Castile. The Barnstormers are denied here in the third on the glove work of Anthony Giansani out in left. It turns out to be no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 3, Sugar Land remains ahead 4-1.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
Well, one of the differences in this game, and it speaks so much about Clipper Magazine Stadium and why teams like to throw left-handers in this ballpark. The Sugar Land Skeeters have 2 home runs to right. Meanwhile, Anthony Giansani, the left fielder playing that huge garden out there, has 3 putouts already, including 2 diving catches against Ryan Castile. And as a result, Sugar Land hitting the ball to right, the Barnstormers to left. Sugar Land leads 4-1.
It's a difference maker, as you mentioned there. Got to take advantage of the field.
To the inside corner and a called strike on Barrett Barnes. It's 0-1. Barnes walked. Got the second on a bad pickoff throw, but was thrown out trying to steal third back in the second inning, and that cost Sugar Land ultimately a run. He would have been on in front of the Navarro homer. Breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Barnes. Right-handed hitter. And the next offering hit high in the air on the left side. Frias points toward the outfielders. Sanford and Robinson are there. It's Darian Sanford with the catch. 1 out. And to me, somewhat of an odd night continues for Steve Johnson, a guy throughout his career who's gotten a lot of strikeouts. He doesn't have one in this ball game, and only 2 outs, haven't been on fly balls, 8 have been.
Yeah, and how about the fact that his second inning was over 30 pitches, but his first and third were less than 10.
Inside and low to Colin Walsh, who popped to the shortstop back in the second.
Some crooked numbers there.
1 bad inning, and they can happen in a blink in this ballpark.
And make a difference in the entire game.
Ball 2 to Walsh. It's 2-0. Ray Navarro is on deck. For Steve Johnson, 53 pitches so far in the game. Ben Griset has thrown 58. A strike to the outside edge. Walsh batting 2-1. Called second, strike, 2-2. I'm hoping that Steve's dad can make a trip up this way at some point. I've known his father for quite a number of years now.
Where'd you guys meet?
He was with the Orioles in the front office for a while, and he's been with Masson for a number of years. Pitched for the Orioles back in 1990, early 90s, 13-game winner one year.
Wow. Good stuff.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. There's the first one of the night. For Steve Johnson, Colin Walsh goes down, 2 away. And Ray Navarro will step in. Navarro with a home run on a 3-2 pitch back in the second inning. In his inaugural Atlantic League at bat. Here's a guy who last year drove in over 80 runs in AAA.
Yeah.
At Salt Lake City in the Anaheim organization, or Los Angeles of Anaheim, or however you want to phrase it these days, with only 7 home runs. This guy knows how to swing the bat. Laced foul down the left side and out onto the hill.
One of the things I talked to you about when I first got here is asking you about, what's the level of play here? It's AA independent baseball. You said, you look at some of these guys, sometimes it's a AAA team. It's AAA teams battling.
You ask the players, and they will say, especially early in the season, that the level of play here might actually, there's a breaking ball slugged to right. Navarro is 2 for 2 with a couple of home runs. It is now 5-1.
Knew it before it left the park.
Third home run of the ball game for the Sugar Land Skeeters, with Anthony Giansani now stepping in. But you ask the players the level of play here, and they'll say it can be above AAA. But they will tell you, as Nate Reed did on the dugout report tonight, once we finally got the right interview on,
right.
that you get to, he went from here to AA last year, didn't do as well. They're free swingers. They don't know the game as well as the players here do. They may have more talent, more upside there, but they're not as polished. as the guys who come to this league. Low, ball one.
You know, it's a difference of a mechanic sometimes. You look at how hard it is and how many levels, especially in baseball, it is to just get to the MLB. I mean, it could be one little thing. Your fastball is a mile faster than this other guy. And that's the difference between maybe you going to AAA versus AA. I mean, you know, location, everything. There's so many mechanics. And we talked off air earlier today about analytics. And love it or hate it, it's a part of the game, and I think heavier in this sport than any other.
1 ball, 1 strike to Giansani. Johnson is high and tight for ball 2, 2-1. Giansani 0 for 2 tonight. He has flied to center and reached on a bad throw by Carlos Garcia. 5-1 Sugarland here in the 4th inning. 2 outs, base is empty following the Ray Navarro's second home run of the night. Swung on and missed. Giansani fooled by what appeared to be a slider there. It's 2-2. Well, the Barnstormers have another run to make up. Here's a 2-2, and it's just upstairs. Ball 3 and 2 strikes. Kyle Kubica, the on-deck batter. Well, the Barnstormers do not have a lot to show for their night off of Griset, but they're not swinging the bat badly.
Right.
What a frustrating evening so far for Ryan Castile, the DH. Ball 4, missing the outside corner. Giansani becomes a base runner. That is the 3rd walk issued now.
Yep, 4th
by
full
Johnson.
count. 4th full count of the game charged to Johnson as well.
Kubica will step in. He has flied to center and been the only batter retired on a ground ball for Sugarland in the game. Hit into a 5-4 force out. Runner takes off. The pitch bounces away from De La Rosa. Stolen base for Giansani, his second. Sugarland continues to apply the pressure. The Lancaster Barnstormers looking for a way to turn this game around. They have been victimized by their own ballpark tonight.
Yeah.
However, I have to say, Navarro's 2 home runs, especially the first one, might be out of anywhere.
Yeah, the second one.
The second one, I don't think so, but
No.
the first one,
I
definitely. Knuckled out the center field, charging Sanford. He's going to have to throw it after a bounce. Here comes the toss to the plate. That'll be late. The ball getting away from De La Rosa. Before that, into second goes Kubica, and it's now a 6-1 ball game. He totally mishit it, and it died well before Darian Sanford could get there. Giansani scores pretty easily. No error should be charged on it because Giansani was headed for second all the way on that throw toward the plate, which sailed over the cutoff man. And now Kubica is at second with Derek Norris stepping in. Norris is 0 for 2. And the Barnstormers fall deeper into the hole here tonight.
It's just turning into one of those games early on here. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong, sort of one of those things.
First pitch misses inside. Ball 1 on Norris.
And there is some bullpen action for the Barnstormers. Somebody warming up back there. Hard to see from our vantage point, but you can see a throwing arm.
Johnson misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. It is a left-hander beginning to get loose. Could be Marksberry. I think that it's Matt, just based on the build and the hairstyle. I think it's Matt Marksberry. Here's a 2-0 off the inside corner. Ball 3 on Norris. Matt Chavez, the hottest hitter anywhere in baseball, I have to think, waits on deck.
Now, do you think there's a chance they let Johnson get through this inning, or if he walks this guy, could it be it?
Well, Marksberry not ready to go yet, so Johnson's going to stay in there for a while. He walks Norris. The first 2 outs came easily here in this 4th inning. Ross is going to make a mound visit, but it looks to me like Marksberry is just beginning to tune up, so Ross is going to tell Johnson, I think this is the last hitter.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a heck of a hitter, right? Matt Chavez.
Matt Chavez is 2 for 2. First and second with 2 outs. 6-1 in favor of Sugar Land here in the fourth inning. This has been, no matter what way you slice it, a rough night for Steve Johnson.
Yeah.
And he's had, in the odd innings, a lot of success. He had an 8-batter 1-2-3 inning in the first and an 11-batter or 11-pitch 4-batter inning, I should say, in the third. But the even-numbered innings have been difficult to get through.
Yeah, perhaps Ross also going to the mound to maybe just give some more time for the warm-up.
Well, that's exactly it. Mark Sperry would face Cordero.
And well,
who's a switch hitter.
According to somebody in our press row, our good friend Joey Greer, that would be John Anderson.
It is Anderson. Looked like Mark Sperry.
Anderson also a lefty.
Yep. Ground ball rolled right to the shortstop. Frias will go to Bortnick. They'll get the force out on Chavez, who had been 2 for 2. 6-4. But it's 2 more runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors. And 2 men stranded by Sugar Land will go to the bottom half of the fourth inning with a score, Skeeter 6 and the Barnstormers 1.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for what, 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu. Well, the Barnstormers have had some trends over the course of this year. One of those is not hitting well in day games. Another trend is scoring big and coming from behind in night games.
Okay,
Last
so maybe
Thursday at Southern Maryland, they were down 6-0 going into the 6th inning and ended up winning 10-8. So maybe we have something in store tonight. Trayvon Robinson looking to ignite the offense here in the fourth. He grounded to the shortstop Navarro on a smash, one hop right to the glove back in the first inning. Ben Griset working with the 5-run lead, left-hander into the motion, and Robinson will hold off on a breaking ball low, 1-0.
you got to think a couple of things, and not just that. The Barnstormers have touched double digits already 3 times this season. They had 42 runs over their 5-game win streak before that stopped Sunday, so there's reason to have positivity here.
Smashed again, and Navarro finds it too hot to handle at shortstop. He tried to make the quick pick to the backside and couldn't do it. So Robinson aboard with the leadoff single in the fourth. The third hit for the Barnstormers. They've all been singles. Anderson De La Rosa now stepping in. De La Rosa flied to left back in the second inning. The 2 catches by Giansani against Castile have made an enormous difference in this ball game. Griset owes Giansani a steak after the game tonight. Or maybe steak with shrimp, because it is National Shrimp Day.
Absolutely, yes. Got some coupons for that today and tomorrow at the ballpark.
Robinson induces a throw over to first. He's back in standing. Trayvon, 2 for 3, stealing bases on the year. National Shrimp Day. There's a national day for everything.
There
now.
is. Yep.
Pickle Day.
There's
Cupcake Day.
National Left-Hander Day. If you do not know, that is a thing.
Driven toward left center field. Racing over on this is Barnes, and he'll reach up and yank it down. Back to first goes Robinson. You know, the Barnstormers are not hitting badly tonight. I thought when that left Anderson's bat had a chance to get in the gap because they left that alley wide open, but the ball hung up there, and Barnes covered a lot of ground. Vladimir Frias will step in. Frias grounded out the other way to the first baseman Chavez back in the second.
Has hit safely in 5 straight, though, has Frias. So he looks to extend that over that streak. He's gone 6 for 19.
I thought he had the best-looking bat in spring training, too. Swinging a foul tip. 1 strike.
Certainly have to like what he brings to the team, along with many others.
And if you listen to John Whitwer and Tom Richards, the other great contribution made by Vladimir Frias is the greatest walk-up song of all time. Another fly ball out the center. This will be easy for Barnes, 2 outs. And Carlos Garcia will step in. Only 5 pitches thrown by Griset this inning. 6-1 Sugarland here in the bottom half of the fourth. It started with promise. The Barnstormers, again, not swinging the bats badly, but nothing falling in at the right times. Here's Carlos Garcia, a strikeout victim, his first trip.
Well, fans want to remind you that the series continues Wednesday night, 7 o'clock start, and it's Wiener Wednesday. Bring your dog to the park and enjoy Dollar Burke's Hot Dogs. Tickets can be purchased on LancasterBarnstormers.com or by calling 717-509-HITS. One of many great promotions at the ballpark.
My wife wants wiener dog races on one of these Wednesday nights.
You have to have something.
My wife loves dachshunds. We don't have one, but eventually it will be the case. And she says if we have wiener dog races and it's during the summer, so as a teacher she can come up here, she will be here. Bounce knocked down off the chest of Matt Chavez.
I don't know that I'm a wiener dog kind of guy. I own a Shih Tzu. I'd also like a Corgi. I think they're very cute dogs.
Robinson still the runner at first. Garcia batting with 2 outs, lower half of the fourth. Swinging a foul ball back into the twines. It's 0-1.
Don't forget it's also Wing Wednesday tomorrow, too. There's a ton of great stuff and very, very good food here.
And hopefully a winning Wednesday.
Yes, agreed.
Barnstormers in a pretty significant deficit here tonight in the fourth inning. And they just can't get the offense ignited. Griset's held down the running game. Griset in the 5-run deficit holding down the running game.
Yeah, and it was more of the same problems on Sunday. Now, granted, there was a lot of rain, and sometimes the weather, I think, can bring you down, but 5 hits, no runs in Sunday's series finale against York, and it looks like it's carried over a bit here. Of course, when you go down so early in a game, I think it's hard to battle back.
To Garcia, 1-1, floated out the shallow center field. That will be down for a base hit. Around second, waiting and watching, and then taking off for third is Robinson. He'll make it. A bloop single by Garcia, the man who got the closest, the second baseman, Colin Walsh. Robinson checked up a few feet around second base and then saw that it was going to take a while for that ball to be retrieved. He bolted for third. Here's Darian Sanford, who has twice grounded out the left side infielders. The Barnstormers with a chance here in the fourth inning. Runners are at the corners with 2 outs.
And don't forget Sanford going into this game 4 for 5 against lefties. So benefit to him, of course, 0 for 2 thus far against Ben Griset.
Cordero will play up, but not quite as far. Breaking ball misses inside. Ball 1 and no strikes to Darian. Sanford with 6 runs batted in for the year, trying to draw the Barnstormers closer here, trailing by 5 in the fourth inning. Throw will go to first base. Jumping back in there is Garcia, who does run well. Part of the reason Cordero is back a little bit is you've got to do something about the runner at third.
Right.
you can't let him get a 40-foot lead in the event, especially of a pitch getting away. To Darian Sanford, swinging a nick foul at the plate, and Darian upset with himself that he didn't make better contact there. He liked that pitch. It is 1-1. Giansani is not being duped out in left field. He is giving Darian Sanford some respect, and he needs to. I don't know if Sugarland got the scouting report about Darian, but Sanford in the series at Southern Maryland lined the ball off the left field wall at Regency Furniture Stadium about 3 feet from his first Barnstormers home run.
Wow.
He's got more power than he had last year. That is bounced and knocked down by Norris. He made the play on it. Sanford gains the advantage of 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, Sanford's an interesting guy because, you know, a pitcher nibbles on him a little bit, but you don't want to put this guy on base. He's, I think, by far your most dangerous runner that you could put on. We talk about all the speed that this team has up and down the lineup, but there's a reason he's leadoff.
2 balls, 1 strike. Griset to the plate. Sanford rips it and fouls straight back into the screen. And again, he'd like to have that pitch back.
I was going to say, I know, not sure if you saw that, but he just started shaking his head, just not happy about that pitch selection.
He thought that he had his sights set on that one and just missed it.
Yep.
Fouling it dead back into the screen. 2-2 from Griset. Runners lead off the corners, and a swing and a miss on a pitch down low, and Sanford flings the bat away. Not happy with that at bat at all. And it's no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. You get the feeling that Sanford twice felt he missed his pitch in that 4th inning. So nothing doing for the Barnstormers. We'll head to the 5th. Still 6-1 Sugarland.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com, too. And you can get them right on your phone, thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
The elements conspiring against Steve Johnson here tonight. He pitched brilliantly against Southern Maryland a week ago. Here this evening, maybe a slightly tighter than normal strike zone. Tough to tell from our vantage point, but he walked 4 in 4 innings, and then the right field wall came up and bit him. 3 home runs for the Sugarland Skeeters in that neighborhood. 4 innings for Johnson, 6 hits, 6 runs all earned, with 4 walks, a wild pitch, and oddly for him, only 1 strikeout tonight.
Yeah, and kind of puts an end to what, for the last week, really majority of the season so far has been a pretty good run for starting pitching for the Barnstormers. As I had mentioned, over the last 3 games in that York series, 21 strikeouts for the starters, 30 overall from the team.
Now here's Albert Cordero, who walked and scored a run back in the 2nd, fly to center in the 3rd. He's facing Matt Marksberry. And the first pitch is high, ball 1, no strikes from the left-hander. Marksberry in his 5th appearance. He's allowed only 1 hit in 5 1/3 innings. He's walked 4, but 2 of those have been intentional, and he struck out 6. Former Atlanta Braves lefty, swinging a foul ball back. You've gotten to listen to his interview twice tonight. A bonus Matt Marksberry episode. I still don't know what happened there.
He's a good piece, though, right?
Yeah,
he's got some
was
major
great
league
copy.
talk.
1 ball, 1 strike. to Albert Cordero. Courtney Hawkins and Barrett Barnes will follow. 6'1" left-hander from Cincinnati, Ohio is Matt Marksberry. The 1-1 offering is lifted down the left field line. Could be a tricky play. Sprinting back, Garcia. It will land untouched and foul. 1-2 on Cordero. Lob down the left field line in a tricky spot. Left field is so big here.
I wonder if Jansani would have got that one, though, the way he's been playing out in left tonight.
Made a wonderful play on Castile coming in back in the third. When that ball was hit by Ryan, I really didn't think Giansani had a prayer of getting there. I thought he would check up, play it on a bounce, and allow one run to score. But
the first at bat, right, where he made that dive.
The second one.
The second one.
When he came in, made the sliding catch against Castile again. Cordero batting at 1-2. Marksberry to the plate, and it's fouled off the bat handle. Off to the right, now to play. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sugar Land leading by 5 here in the 5th inning. It is 6-1. New supply of baseballs brought out to Silvio Martinez. We've got a daytime game here on Thursday. Baseball and Education Day.
Bright and early.
And also a Senior Thursday presented by A&E Audiology.
11 a.m. first pitch on that one.
Fastball is high. Cordero batting 2-2. We let Sugar Land go on their merry way after the game on Thursday. The day games here on Getaway Day. 3 Thursday matinees in this ballpark this month. Fouled off again. Cordero continues to battle Marksberry at 2 balls and 2 strikes. These Sugar Land hitters are not going down easily.
No, and for the Barnstormers, an important series early on in the season. Game and a half back of first on Sugar Land, but the Skeeters trying to extend that lead. And of course, other teams in this division in action, including York, who's up by 1.
There's another ball hit the deep right field. Galen will go back, and the walls will not contain it. Sugar Land with its 4th home run to right field, and they, for the most part, have never seen this ballpark before. Cordero had, but these other guys set foot in here today, and they have come up with a game plan. They're going to right field, and they have knocked 4 out, and we're only 4+ innings in. 7-1, and Courtney Hawkins, who had the first of those home runs and the most productive of those home runs, steps in. Hawkins, a 3-run shot back in the 2nd inning. He fouled to the third baseman Garcia in the 3rd. 7-1 Sugar Land, and the pitch bends low. It is ball 1 and no strikes.
Yeah, that pitch a little bit more towards right center than the other few that have went out of here so far, but man, this team's got power. No question about it.
Foul ball back. It is a ball and a strike.
That's another one, too, where I think, where we were talking about this with Ray Navarro, his first home run might have been out of there in any of these parks. I think that one probably.
But not Sugar Land. And that's what's ultimately amazing about this game the Skeeters have put together, and I'll get to that after this pitch. Knuckled foul off to the right, a 2nd strike on Hawkins. Constellation Field, the home field of the Sugar Land Skeeters, was also designed by Keystone Baseball, the group that the original ownership group of the Barnstormers.
Right.
But their long dimension is right field. This is the first game Sugar Land has played on the road. They have been playing in a ballpark that's 348 down the right field line, and the wind blows in from right field there.
Well, that makes quite the difference.
So this is a completely foreign concept for them to go to right field, and yet they have made the adjustments tonight brilliantly.
That's what good teams do, right?
Ball 2 is low, 2-2. The count on Hawkins. 7-1 Sugar Land here in the 5th inning.
Now
6 of the 7 runs on the long ball.
This is their first road game of the season,
It's
right?
their first road game. It's the first time away from that gargantuan right field at Constellation. Here's a 2-2, inside and low. The count to Hawkins filling out. Barrett Barnes waits on deck.
We'd have to look and see how many home runs these guys have in their field.
On that opening homestand, they hit 7 in 9 games.
And they're at 3 right now, 3-1?
4.
4, 3-1.
Towering pop fly foul. I don't think this will stay in play. Over is Garcia. Up against the wall. Nope. It's about 4 or 5 rows in. Still 3-2 on Hawkins. But it's not just been the home run ball for Sugar Land. They've been very patient. They have worked the count. This has been
a couple of long at-bats.
An impressive night at the plate. Only 1 strikeout against this Barnstormers pitching staff, which had fanned 98 batters in 87 innings over the first 10 games.
Yeah.
It's not easy to swing the bats against this staff, and Sugar Land has been incredibly proficient at it here tonight. Here's a 3-2 again. There's a swing and a miss. Hawkins has gone on strikes. Marksberry with his 7th punch out of the season. 1 out. Barrett Barnes, the center fielder, will step in. Barnes has walked and flied out the center. Take a look at the other scores around the Atlantic League. York leading Southern Maryland 11-2, a beleaguered Southern Maryland team which lost 27-9 to Long Island back on Friday. New Britain 4-2 over Long Island in the 8th. The Road Warriors lead Somerset 3-0 in the 8th inning. Pitch is low to Barnes. Ball 1, no strikes.
A couple of other updates in Major League Baseball. How about the Orioles? They continue to struggle. 10-1. They are down against the Kansas City Royals, top of the 5th. Final from earlier today, Twins over the Cardinals 7-1 as time is called. And a couple of games maybe for our more northeast friendly viewers. 1-0 Braves over the Rays in the 5th. Phil's up 3-1 over the Giants right now, 3-1 in the 5th inning. And the Yankees 2-0 over the Boston Red Sox. They are the hottest team in baseball right now and just cannot be stopped.
I'm not surprised that Major League Baseball has decided to play a series in London, but I'm surprised that Major League Baseball gives up a Yankees-Red Sox series to go over there.
Quite some tickets you're getting rid of.
3-0 now, the count on Barnes. 1 out, nobody on here in the 5th inning, but another run home.
I wonder what the capacity is of that park they're playing in London.
I'll be interested. They probably have to convert a soccer stadium. They're not going to build an entirely new baseball stadium for a couple of games. And I know the group that builds the fields for Major League Baseball for foreign events. Ball 4 is inside to Barnes. There's the 5th walk given up by the Barnstormers tonight.
Yeah.
It's the group actually that used to manage our fields here. Murray Cook at the head of it. That'll be quite an exciting adventure.
Yeah.
Over in London.
Well, you have a lot of sports doing this crossover now. The NFL has done that. The NHL is doing some preseason games in China this coming year.
All about souvenir sales.
I agree with that.
A strike at the knees to Colin Walsh, switch hitting second baseman in there right-handed against Marksberry.
Well, you got to do something when sales have been down in Major League Baseball. We talked about that too earlier today. Ticket sales, revenue in general for Major League Baseball down the most it's been in over a decade.
Ground ball pulled foul. The NFL experienced a similar downturn last year.
Yeah.
Other sports growing in popularity, soccer, basketball.
Hockey picked up a little bit this year.
The continuous action sports.
I
They're
agree with
attracting the younger generation and not the stop and start sports. Check swing by Walsh. He succumbs on a breaking ball. That is strikeout number 2 for Marksberry with 2 outs. Here is Ray Navarro, who is also a switch hitter, and we'll see what he can do right-handed. We already know the havoc he can wreak from the left side of the plate.
Now, if he does this again, I mean, he didn't have a number 3 hours ago, and now everybody's looking at 32 in blue.
Yeah, he's got a 4,000 slugging percentage after 2 at-bats.
And the numbers of the early season.
He has a 5,000 OPS. It can't be any better. Inside from Marksberry, 1-0.
Don't jinx it. Maybe they'll just walk him.
Well, Ian Bladergrone and Jamar Walton have had 3 home run games for opponents here, and both were ex-Barnstormers and pure left-handed batters. Mark Sperry to Navarro. Fastball runs outside. It's 2-0. 2 outs. Barnes aboard at first base. He was thrown out stealing third back in the second inning. One of the few things that's gone well for the Barnstormers tonight.
Right.
Lancaster did score first, but now down 7-1 here in the 5th inning. To Navarro, a strike, finding the inside corner at the knees. 2-1. As May Tuesdays go, it is not that bad of a turnout here tonight. These are tough draws around baseball in general.
You got to remember, you got a lot of people upstairs. He's swinging over that one. It's a 2-2 count to Navarro, but you got a lot of people upstairs for the Taco Tuesdays.
Yep,
All you can eat up in the suites.
There are a few folks out on the deck in the Haller Pavilion now.
And you also have to factor in some fans might have gotten up and started walking around with the score being what it is.
Here's a 2-2 high off the glove of De La Rosa. And charging ahead to second is Barnes. Meanwhile, a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ray Navarro. We'll get a scoring decision there. I think a wild pitch should be in order. De La Rosa had to jump for it. It did come off his glove. Now 3-2 on Ray Navarro. And wild pitch, indeed, the ruling. Payoff is on the way. Navarro holds, and ball 4 is high. He'll pick up the walk, and now Anthony Giansani steps in. Giansani walked his last time up. Officially 0 for 2 in the ball game.
How about the road
Well, it
Warriors?
says 1 for 2 in the ball game. They gave him a base hit back in the second inning.
Did they?
Yeah, the error is on the bad pickoff throw. I had forgotten about that. Breaking ball gets there for a called strike.
Oh, that's nasty.
Barnes, the runner at second. Navarro aboard at first. Mark Sperry to the set. Giansani swings and hits a fly ball to deep left, but it's a long way out there and a long way back goes Robinson to handle it for the final out. It'll end the inning. 1 run on the home run. 1 hit, no errors. 2 men stranded. We are through 4.5, halfway through regulation. 7-1 Sugarland.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS 350 and IS 300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark. Tyler Bortnick, Blake Galen, and Joey Terdoslavich will bat for the Barnstormers as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Lancaster off to a decent start tonight. 1-2-3 top of the first for Steve Johnson. The Barnstormers come out and score in the bottom of the 1st inning. But since then, it has belonged to Sugarland and the long ball.
Yep.
4 Skeeters home runs, all to the short porch and right center. Started to talk, nobody's actually measured the right center here, but I think that alley's only about 345. It's really cozy.
Yeah.
Tyler Bortnick.
You might even be being generous there a little bit. 345, 340. Could be even a little less than that. Either way, 7-1 the score in the bottom of the fifth. Just not that night for the Barnstormers. Still time to go, though. You mentioned we're only halfway through.
DeBortnick sizzled foul down the left side up onto the hill.
Watch out.
Tyler Bortnick gave that a ride, but well fouled down the left field side. Bounced off home plate and ball 2 to Tyler, 2-1. Defense fanned out against the Lancaster second baseman. Upstairs, Bortnick works the count to 3-1. He has drawn one of the 3 walks issued by Griset. The left-hander has struck out 2. It hasn't all the way through been a pretty game for the Southpaw either.
No.
Popped up by Bortnick off the 3-1. This coming back toward the screen and beyond. Norris gives up on it, 3-2 on Tyler Bortnick. Lancaster has chalked up 4 hits, all singles, against Griset. But working with the lead, he's done what he has to do. Payoff pitch due to Bortnick here. Lancaster just looking for base runners at this point. Here comes the 3-2 offering. Ball 4 is low.
Been a walk-friendly game, I think, for both teams. Been a decent amount of strolls to first.
It is the 10th total walk in the game tonight.
Yeah.
Johnson 4, Marksberry 2.
That's a lot.
And now Griset puts his 4th on. Corey Dummel, a pitching coach for the Sugarland Skeeters, formerly of the Somerset Patriots, will head out. Oh, timeout gets charged to Sugarland. Doesn't appear that they have anybody actively throwing in the bullpen. They'll want to work Griset through 5 innings here, but at the same time, he has thrown a lot of spheroids tonight, 77.
Yeah.
Not to mention a number of throws to first base early.
Yeah.
Blake Galen will come to the plate. Galen's perfect, a single and a walk. 10th time, I should say, in 11 games Blake has played now that he's reached base at least twice. He is an on-base machine, is Galen. Terdoslavich on deck, he's also been on board twice.
Could certainly use both those guys right now.
Modified shift on against Galen, who takes ball 1 off the outside corner. Galen has the entire left side with which to play. Pulls the trigger and misses. It's 1-1.
Yeah, you do have somebody warming up for Sugarland. So do you think that mound visit was maybe to say, hey, this might be one of your last batters? Do you think they might try and get him through the 5th here with Griset?
Smashed right to the 3rd baseman. Up with it is Cordero to the backhand, so Galen hits right into the defense. They turn 2 on him, 5-4-3. A very quick double play, and Terdoslavich will step in. Joey has walked and singled. Barnstormers just cannot get up off the carpet tonight, no matter what they do. They've had base runners. There's no question about that. 8 guys have gotten on in 4 2/3 innings against Griset. 8 out of 21 that have been sent to the plate. Terdoslavich takes the first one back up the middle. It lands straight over second base, right at the edge of the outfield grass, and a base hit. Ryan Castile will step in. Castile has hit the ball as hard as anyone and probably harder than anyone
Hard
else
luck hitter of the
on
game.
the Barnstormers side. He's had 2 diving catches made against him by the left fielder Anthony Giansani. The first one was pretty much hit at Giansani and should have been an easy play, but the glare blinded the left fielder. He reacted at the very last second to make the diving play, and the second time he hustled in, lunging forward to make the catch. First pitch strike in on Castile, who's looking to hit the ball anywhere else. 0-1.
On a positive for Terdoslavich, who's on first now. 3rd plate appearance for him, and he's reached on all of them. A couple of singles and a walk that was issued to him back in the first as that one's fouled back.
Broken glass foul ball presented by American Remodeling, your window specialist.
So there's some positives there.
3rd inning in a row. The Barnstormers have had 2 different guys reach base. Ball to Castile, and he gets hit.
Shakes it off, though, so that's good. That one was coming in.
And Trayvon Robinson will give it a whirl. Robinson has smoked 2 in the direction of the shortstop, Ray Navarro. Navarro handled the first one, not the second. That's going to be it for Griset. Pete Incaviglia is on his way out. They got a right-hander warmed up in a hurry down in the bullpen. So Griset will come out 1 batter shy of being eligible for the victory here tonight. Unless the Barnstormers rally from down 6, Bill Hoffman will be in charge of deciding who wins. We're going to have the pitching change for Sugarland. We'll be back in just a moment to identify the newcomer.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com, too. And you can get them right on your phone, thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Danny Reynolds, the right-hander, into the ball game now for the Sugarland Skeeters. Reynolds from Las Vegas just turned 27 years of age last week, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, pitched AAA with the Braves last year in Gwinnett County, Georgia. He's in his 4th ball game of this year and has allowed only 2 hits, no runs, in 4 1/3 innings while striking out 6. Sugarland so far this season not exhibiting any weaknesses.
No, and for the Barnstormers now, I mean, if you want to try and find one, I guess your best bet is to try and get to this bullpen. You got Robinson up here, who's reached in all 9 games he has played.
1 out of 2 tonight. Switch hitter, turns around, bats left-handed, and takes a ball down the left field line. That is curling, and that is a foul ball into the left field corner, signaled by the home plate umpire, Silvio Martinez, who had the best look at it. Very close to being an RBI double, maybe scoring 2, depending on how it hopped around down there.
Yeah, and if it would have done that, it would have been the first time Giansani would not have been able to get to that ball after making 2 excellent plays in left field earlier in this game. Possibly would have been the best chance for the Barnstormers, and maybe even clearing the bases and getting a couple of runs across.
Now, you want to talk about a night where absolutely nothing is going right. Another example of it there.
Example.
Sugarland has the 4 home runs. I'm not saying that they have lucked their way to a 7-1 lead, but the Barnstormers have had numerous chances to score in this game. We've had diving catches. We've had that ball going foul by inches down the left field line. to Robinson. A swing and a miss, challenged by a powerful fastball. Trayvon is down 0-2. Terdoslavich at second. Castile, the runner at first. Robinson is a very good opposite field hitter and nearly dunked that into the left field corner. Instead, now trails 0-2 against Reynolds.
Yeah, and the game feels a little different than it did with York on Sunday because we weren't getting a lot of guys on base. This one's a different story. You mentioned it earlier. The hitting has not exactly been a weakness tonight. It's just some bad luck.
Can't get the ball to fall in the right spot at the right time. Ball inside. Reynolds thought he had the third strike, but Silvio Martinez has not been very pitcher-friendly in this game. He's been consistent, and ultimately that's what you want. But the corners, again, our vantage point's a little skewed, but they seem a bit tight this evening.
Yeah, squeezing in on the strike zone a little.
Ball 1, 2 strikes to Robinson. Reynolds sets, looks back to Terdoslavich, looks again. Now to the plate, 1-2. Bouncing ball handled at the mound with a slight bobble. Reynolds will underhand to first and get out of the inning. Trayvon Robinson, oh so close to doing some damage in the left field corner. The ball just wouldn't stay fair for him. And it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Barnstormers leave 2. They have stranded 8 in the ball game tonight. They haven't lacked for base runners, but they have lacked for runs. And at the end of 5, 7-1 Sugar Land.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all-you-can-eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Okay, John, shelves are stocked.
So are the new Fast Play games from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Just pick your game, get your ticket, and see if you've won.
Like word search, with top prizes of 20 grand.
Yep, winning's never been faster.
Not faster than me clearing these shelves.
Dude, I hope you're even faster at restocking.
Yeah.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Ross Peoples goes back to his bullpen and brings on right-hander Garrett Granitz for the top half of the 6th inning, and I like this move that Ross is making here. It's going to give Sugar Land's hitters a completely different look and try to throw their timing off. Granitz is a submariner. It's a different angle, and perhaps this will disrupt the hitters for the Sugar Land Skeeters.
Yeah, at this point, just try anything, right? I mean, you're down
I like
by
this
6.
move.
Yeah.
If you had a knuckleballer, you'd throw him in there right now.
Yeah.
Sugar Land just tearing up everybody they come across. The pitching, for the most part, has done it. They did lose the other day to Somerset 13-10. That their hitters just not slowing down at all. Granitz will face left-handed batting Kyle Kubica. Leading off here in the 6th inning, Kubica 1 for 3 with an RBI base hit into center field back in the 4th inning. Not hit terribly well out there, but got the job done. Garrett Granitz to the plate, up and away. Ball 1, no strikes from the right-hander out of the Madison, Wisconsin area. Granitz, 31 years of age, 6'2", 205. Swinging a foul ball back into the net. 1-1 on Kubica. Derek Norris and Matt Chavez will follow. 7-1 Sugar Land here in the 6th inning. The Barnstormers have been out hit 8-5.
Yeah, 3 hits the difference, but 6 runs. I mean, in large part because a few of those hits out of the park for Sugar Land.
Granite's to Kubica, sliced the other way, foul. Past the third base coach, Juice Gums. Sounds like a product.
Yeah. Juicy fruit, that gum, I'm a fan. Now,
Lincoln Gums, his given name.
If Granite's pitches well here, do you think they put him out for another inning? Maybe?
I don't discount that possibility. Off-speed frisbee slider ends up inside Kubica. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, you're starting a 3-game set, plus you got the day game Thursday. You don't want to totally blow through your bullpen, right? Use a bunch of arms to start.
Especially because we do have a doubleheader coming up at Somerset on Saturday.
Right.
And you have to plan for that. Inside and ball 3.
Sort of puts Ross in a tough position right now.
Right
from the start.
Another pitcher right there thought he had the 3rd strike. Doesn't get the call out of Silvio Martinez. That's been sort of a common occurrence here tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Well, we talked about it. They're squeezing the strike zone a bit.
10 walks, 5 strikeouts in the game. 3-2 pitch. That's strike 3 call. Oh, Granite gets the benefit the second time around. He came back to the same neighborhood. Kubica is gone looking. Derek Norris will come to the plate 0 for 2 of the walk. I really like going to Granites here. Against a hot-hitting ball club, you just give them something entirely different and try to get them off their feet. Try to disrupt that timing.
Yeah. Well, making moves on the fly here, so that's kind of the position that Lancaster's in.
To Norris, wrapped over to third on the ground, and digging it up, bobbling is Garcia, and his throw is offline. Norris is aboard. This one will be an error. The Barnstormers are guilty of their second error of the ball game. Matt Chavez coming to the plate, 2 for 3 with a run scored.
Second error to Garcia, I believe.
Well, they gave Giansani a base hit back in the second inning.
Which we originally thought was an error, but not the case.
I haven't posted that error up there yet, but I can't see this going any other way.
They also have Matt Chavez batting at .219.
Ground ball third. Garcia handles this one out at second. Bortnick back to first. Bang, bang, double play on National Shrimp Day. Bang, bang, shrimp from Bonefish Grill. You get a discount off that. No runs, no hits, 1 error, nobody left. A quick text message to Kristen Simon to let her know. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 7-1 Sugarland.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL Hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Barnstormers trailing it 7-1 right now, in part to 4 home runs from the Sugarland Skeeters. Andrew Mossbrooks alongside voice of the Barnstormers, Dave Collins. And just as you had said a couple of times here, Dave, everything that could happen and could go wrong, certainly has. There's been decent hitting for Lancaster, but either the balls are just not falling in time to become a hit, or the hits are just not producing any runs.
7-1 Sugarland. Sugarland's earned the 7 runs. They have the 4 home runs in this ballpark tonight, but the Barnstormers have been so close on 3 occasions to scoring multiple runs.
All in left field?
In this ball game, all in left field. 2 diving catches by Giansani with multiple runners on base, and Robinson's deep fly ball just going foul into the corner, also with multiple runners on base.
So the Barnstormers have had bad luck in left field, and they've been hurt by right on the other side of the ball.
Anderson De La Rosa looks at a Danny Reynolds fastball high and tight. Ball 1, no strikes. De La Rosa tonight 0 for 2 on a fly ball to left and a fly ball to center. The starter, Griset, not eligible for the win. He went 4 2/3, 5 hits and a run. Walked 4 and struck out 2. He also hit a batter. The last one he faced, De La Rosa tries to go down the right field line, but angles it foul and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just one of those nights. Baseball can be like this.
You're playing
it could so easily be 7-4 or 7-5 right now.
Well, you're playing 126 games, right? So you're not going to have 100% for all 126 of those. And you have to tip your cap to a good team. You know, this is a team that's first in the division, first in the Atlantic, for a reason.
1-1 to De La Rosa. Fastball grounded over to third. Nice true hop for Albert Cordero. He'll gun down De La Rosa 5-3, 1 out. Vladimir Frias, the shortstop, to the plate. He is 0 for 2. You're talking about the Vladimir Frias walk-up music.
Yeah, you brought this up.
I was actually told by John Whitwer and Tom Richards to tell Vladimir that he was not allowed to change it.
Oh.
And I actually said that in the team meeting right at the outset of spring training when the subject of walk-up music came up. I just said, oh, by the way, Vlad, you're not allowed to change yours. And he looked at me like, what? What if I want? No, I said, no, it's like too much by the guys in the press box. You're not allowed to change. They told me to tell you that. Upstairs from Danny Reynolds. Ball 1 and no strikes. Right now, Reynolds, the likely candidate to pick up the win in this game should the Barnstormers not be able to claw back in here.
Right.
This would have I think, a totally different feel to it tonight if one of those 3 balls had fallen in fair territory in left field.
There would have been a couple more runs on the other side, on the home side of the scoreboard, so I agree with you there. You know, you're down by 6 runs now in the bottom of the 6th inning, and there's definitely a different mentality. I mean, I come from hockey, but when you're down by 3-4 goals going into the third period, you just can't play the same. It's hard. There's a mental part of the game, and it's the same in baseball, maybe even more in baseball.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Frias. Carlos Garcia waits on deck to Vlad. Swing and a miss. He trails 1-2.
A couple of finals across baseball in the Atlantic League. Long Island Ducks 5-2. They fall to the New Britain Bees. And the Road Warriors picking up a win over Somerset, who took 2 of 3 from Sugarland. And the Road Warriors, which will be an interesting story this season.
The Road Warriors can never be taken lightly. Swung on and missed. Frias goes down. 3 in a row retired by Reynolds, and with 2 outs, Carlos Garcia stepping in.
It's also the top of the 9th in Southern Maryland, 11-2 York, so that one pretty much a foregone conclusion. Now, the Road Warriors, you say, can't be taken lightly, but their past would indicate they've never had a successful season.
They win about a third of their games.
Yeah.
And when you play on the road every game, you never have the home field advantage.
Yep.
The travel will get to you after a while.
That's what I was wondering, if maybe they'll start out okay, but then when you're 50, 60, 70 games into the season and you've been doing this, I can believe that.
High to Garcia, ball 1, no strikes. They certainly have experience at the helm there with Ellie Rodriguez. Now, Ellie has not managed before, but he is a great baseball man. Caught one of Nolan Ryan's no-hitters back in the day, I believe with the Angels. Garcia holds on a pitch down low.
Just want to mention,
2 balls and no strikes.
That game was 2 hours and 24 minutes. That 3-0 win for the Road Warriors over Somerset. I mean, when do you see a game that short anymore? Pace of play.
They had a 158 in the Atlantic League earlier this year. I believe it was the day game between Sugarland and New Britain last Monday.
Wow.
Took 1 hour and 58 minutes.
I'll look that up.
2 balls, no strikes to Garcia. Darian Sanford waiting on deck. Reynolds to the plate. Big swing and a miss by Carlos. He was trying to get the Barnstormers on the board quickly here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 2-1. 7-1 Sugarland, lower half of inning 6. Reynolds to the plate, a swing and a miss again by Carlos Garcia, 2-2. Kristen Simon just texted me back with 3 little shrimp icons.
Shrimp, yeah.
It is, after all, National Shrimp Day.
Are you a fan of shrimp, Dave?
I love shrimp.
Do you?
Now, apparently, according to the Adam Gocknauer ad, I also love steak.
Yeah, oh, true.
But I do love shrimp.
I'm a steak guy.
We'll see if Reynolds comes back with a fastball here. He does. It's popped up over toward third. Into foul ground is Cordero. Josh Bell gives him room, and Cordero makes the catch in the coach's box. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Reynolds. In the lower half of the 6th, nothing across. 6 innings of baseball have gotten into the books tonight. It's 7-1 Sugarland.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
Through 6 innings tonight for the Sugarland Skeeters, 7 runs. They have 8 base hits, played clean defense, and they have stranded 6 base runners. The Barnstormers with 1 run on 5 hits tonight, 2 errors. Lancaster has marooned 8. Here is Albert Cordero, who has the 4th of the Sugarland home runs tonight. He went oppo against Matt Marksberry, leading off the 5th inning. The last of the 8 Sugarland base hits so far.
Could be worse.
He's also walked and flied to center.
Just want to point this out. Bottom of the 6th inning, Baltimore is at home. They're down 15-1 in the 6th inning.
I have to think Buck Showalter's days are numbered in Baltimore.
I have to think Manny Machado's days are probably.
Yeah. Trade rumors abound there.
Yeah, well, a lot of people thought he'd make it to the end of the season and then go as a free agent, but I don't know anymore.
Well, the way the Orioles have started, they almost have to trade him on one of those rental deals and try to get something back for him.
Yeah.
One of the great players in the game. That Orioles situation so far this year has been miserable. Strike on the outside corner to Cordero, 1-1. I feel bad for Buck Showalter because he's a great manager.
Playing with what he has.
Nothing has gone right for the Orioles whatsoever this season. Punch toward the left side. Diving play by Garcia. Oh, put a star by that one in the scorebook. Headlong to his left, he makes the catch and takes a base hit away from Cordero. 1 out here in the 7th inning. a dazzler by the third baseman.
Defensive play of the game for sure. My goodness.
One out, Courtney Hawkins will step in. Hawkins with the 3-run home run back in the second, quiet since. Garrett Granitz into his motion. Comebacker, one easy hop to Garrett. Overhand lob to the first baseman, Terdoslavich. 2 up, 2 down. A minimum of 5 batters faced by Granitz so far tonight. There's Barrett Barnes, who has walked both his plate appearances. Or 2 of his plate appearances, I should say, is also flied out to center field.
And we talked about this last inning when Granitz was up. Would we see him for back-to-back innings? And the case has proven true. And maybe, I mean, he's working pretty efficient through this one. He gets this guy. Maybe it will not be the last we see of Granitz.
To the inside corner, strike one to Barnes, who is right from Sugar Land. 26 years of age, a former first-rounder for the Pirates. Almost behind him, and it did brush him. Well, Barnes plunked by the pitch. That'll bring on Colin Walsh, who is 0 for 3.
Second hit by pitch of the game. First one belonged to the Skeeters, Ben Griset, who made contact in the 5th inning with Ryan Castile. Of course, nothing would come across the plate for the Barnstormers because it's been that kind of night.
Walsh with a fly ball out to center, fat part of the ballpark. Backtracking is Sanford. Darian latches on for the final out. And ultimately, Granitz breezes through a second inning. Had a great play made behind him by Garcia. No runs, no hits, no errors, a man left. We have reached the stretch, still 7-1 Skeeters.
You're totally probably safe to ride on your spare for 6, maybe 9 months?
Don't trust the wrong advice. Get the right tires at the right price right away. It's what we've been doing at Jack Williams Tire right here in Pennsylvania since our family started this business back in 1929. Because doing things the right way is just the Williams way. Get the right tires right now at jackwilliams.com.
Lancaster Bible College has been around since 1933, but did you know that they offer degrees in much more than just Bible? LBC offers degrees in criminal justice, business, professional counseling, and more, as well as graduate and seminary degrees in areas like Christian care, chaplaincy, education, and leadership studies. To learn more about LBC and the programs they offer, visit lbc.edu. That's lbc.edu. Sugar Land goes back to its bullpen and brings on left-hander Hunter Cervenka as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Cervenka is a 28-year-old from Baytown, Texas, in the Houston area, 6'1", and 245 pounds is this southpaw. Cervenka, in his 6th game of the year, he's given up 1 hit and 1 walk in 5 innings while striking out 8. Darian Sanford, Tyler Bortnick, and Blake Galen will be facing him here in the 7th inning. Danny Reynolds, perfect through his inning in the 3rd. Barnstormers unable to get the ball out of the infield against the right-hander. Sanford 0 for 3 tonight. 2 groundouts and a strikeout. Lead off here against Cervenka. Cervenka. First offering, and Sanford pops this up right side, charging over the first baseman Chavez. Ball not hit high enough. Chavez unable to get there. Chavez is listed 6'2", 195. Somehow seems bigger than that.
I was going to say, that might be generous.
Looks to me like he's built almost like a Michael Snyder. From this vantage point, I guess my eyes deceive me. One strike to Sanford. Cervenka comes back and delivers strike 2 to the inside corner. Darien finds himself down 0-2. Josh Bell currently coaching third. I think that's possibly Troy Steffi over at first base now, helping out here on home games. Way outside, ball 1 to Sanford. Robinson and Galen have extended their on-base streak. Sanford to this point has not. Darien had a base hit in the 6th inning of the Sunday ball game. Cervenka ready to go. Ball 2, missing below the knees, 2-2. Barnstormers' offense has come to a screeching halt. This is the second straight game now without an extra base hit, after they had been pounding the ball in every imaginable direction for about a week. Swing and a miss by Sanford. He's gone on strikes for the second straight time. 4 strikeouts total for Sugarland pitching. Tyler Bortnick will come to the plate. Bortnick is 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. He has scored a run.
Don't forget, just one run over their last 17 innings. Coming back to the 8th inning on Saturday. They did not play the 9th because they were already up 7-1, so they did not come around to bat on Saturday.
Outside to Bortnick, 1-0.
And of course, no runs coming across the plate in Sunday's 4-0 loss. And now this one. And baseball is just a crazy game. We talked about it. They were exploding for runs in the 5-game win streak, and it has cooled down.
Ball 2 is outside. Sugarland cannot seem to find the range against Bortnick tonight.
No.
Again, part of the wonders of the game of baseball.
Yeah.
Slowly topped over toward third. This is going to be a tough play. Up with it is Cordero. He throws wide of the bag, but should be a base hit for Bortnick. The off-balance throw made by Albert Cordero. And he actually had a shot there, which shocked me.
Yeah, it was just a slow roller up the third base line. A little in the grass, of course, but credit to Bortnick. And he walked in the 5th. Now he's on base for a second time, and not for the lack of effort, because he's been robbed before.
Infield base hit for Bortnick. Here is Galen. 1 for 2 with a walk. Third baseman Cordero well off the line. Giansani not so much here with the left-hander Cervenka on the hill. The pitch to Blake is offered up low, ball 1.
Did hit into a double play last time up in the 5th inning.
The Barnstormers pick up their 11th base runner of the game.
And only one run across.
Yeah, prior to Sunday, they'd been averaging more than 16.
Well, of course, with that came all the runs as well. Not so much today.
The runner takes off. The pitch is outside. The throw by Norris has no chance. And Bortnick arrives safely at second.
And this is one of the things that the Barnstormers just really haven't had an opportunity to do much in this game or executed enough, and that's just their ability to steal bases. I mean, that is one of this team's strong suits, and we really haven't gotten to see much of it until just there, but fortunately Bortnick able to get one, now a runner in scoring position.
Generally, you won't see bases stolen when you're down by 6 in the late innings. Throw out that book when the Barnstormers are involved. Strike at the knees, it's 2-1. Besides, there's a streak involved. The Barnstormers had stolen a base in every game so far this year. And before Sunday, they'd stolen at least 2 in every game.
Yeah.
Runner at second base with 1 out. Blake Galen batting 2 balls and a strike. Joey Terdoslavich waits on deck. Cervenka ready to go. Galen nicks it foul, 2-2.
I have to think Rico Noel and Darian Sanford had a large part to do with all those stolen bases.
8 for Sanford, 6 for Noel. But you've got a number of guys who are legitimate stealing threats. Garcia, Frias, Robinson, Bortnick. Galen stares at a low fastball, 3-2. He's just trying to join Bortnick on the base paths here somehow.
Yep.
Get Turdoslavich up there, and the Barnstormers, who scored 7 runs against Southern Maryland in the 7th inning last Thursday, can explode if given the opportunity. Galen batting 3-2. That is lined and caught by the first baseman Chavez. Hustling back is Bortnick into second. Not hit all that well by Galen. It sounded like the bat cracked on it. But if he gets it up another foot, he may very well have a double into the right field corner.
Yeah.
Now it's up to Turdoslavich, who is 2 for 2 with a walk.
That ball goes a foot higher, and it scores a run from second. That's Turdoslavich, you mentioned up, and he has reached base safely in all 3 of his plate appearances thus far tonight. So it's been a relatively good game for a guy on a team who has collectively not had the best effort.
The ball is outside. On deck is Ryan Castile, who artistically has had a good night at the plate. The stats may not show it. Bortnick leading off second with 2 outs. If Bortnick had still been at first, that had a chance to be a double play. Or, here's the downside of it, fastball for a strike, is Chavez out of position enough that ball, if Bortnick's still at first, is not caught. That may have gotten through. It may have been past him, and we could still be in business, and that's a bizarre downside to a successful stolen base.
You know, you look at a lot of these balls hit from Lancaster, and the guys on Sugar Land have just been right there for it. That's good video. That's good video coaching.
1-1. Swing and a miss by Turdoslavich. It's 1-2. Well, I don't know how many scouting reports are out there. Chavez was pretty much where you would be against a left-handed batter.
True.
And he had to go up a little bit for it. Again, it wasn't whistled off the bat of Galen by any stretch of the imagination, but hit well enough that it could have done some damage. 1-2 from Cervenka, swing and a miss. Well, the Barnstormers are unable to capitalize here in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 man left on base. We'll go to the 8th inning, and it's still 7-1 Sugar Land.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Excuse me, are you saying localflavor.com?
Oh, yeah, it's where I save big bucks on all kinds of things. Home improvement projects, dining out, family fun, electronics, jewelry, clothing. I even bought my wife a fancy spa package for half price.
Half price?
Yep, you know all the deals you find in Clipper Magazine.
I love Clipper Magazine.
Well, they're all on localflavor.com, too. And you can get them right on your phone, thanks to localflavor.com's mobile app. Here, take a look.
Well, this app is amazing. Look at all these restaurants, amusement parks, car washes, fitness centers. This is worth sharing about.
Exactly. Localflavor.com online, the Local Flavor mobile app, and Clipper Magazine together. It's like a triple play.
Do the cheer again. I'm in.
Localflavor.com, local flavor. Come on, everybody! Localflavor.com, local flavor. Localflavor.com, local flavor.
Moving on to the 8th inning here at Clipper Magazine Stadium on a nice Tuesday night. Tuesday night, nice weather. Not exactly the nicest game, or at least it has not been kind to one team. The Lancaster Barnstormers down 7-1 against the first place Sugar Land Skeeters, who have proved why they are in first early on. Sugar Land on their first road game of the season. This is the start of a 6-game road trip with 3 games at Long Island following this 3-game set against the Barnstormers. That will conclude Thursday morning An 11 a.m. game, baseball in Education Day at the ballpark. Tickets available now.
Ray Navarro, switch hitter, batting left-handed, who has hit 2 home runs from this side of the plate in the game. He walked right-handed back in the 5th inning. He's facing Jesus Sanchez, and a ball is low, 1-0. Sanchez has notched a win so far this year. He's in his 6th ball game. 3 2/3 innings, 2 hits. He has walked 2, struck out 4, delivering a strike to Navarro. It is 1-1. Garrett Granitz with a positive outing. Hit a batter, struck out 1 in 2 shutout innings. Did not allow a base hit. Nubbed back toward the hill. Sanchez to the third base side. Fields and fires. Navarro cut down. 1 out. That'll bring out Giansani.
He's been a difference maker in this game, Ray Navarro.
2 solo home runs. Giansani has been a difference maker defensively.
Right.
2 diving catches against Ryan Castillo. And not only saving the runs important, but cutting those innings off was important. You don't know where those innings go if he fails to make those catches. Sanchez delivering low, ball 1, no strikes.
Yeah, you're right. We could be talking about a totally different game right
if
now.
he doesn't make that catch in the 1st inning, and again, I think he got blinded by the glare off of the skyboxes, reacted at the last second, made the diving catch. If that ball is by him, that's not a 1-run inning. That may be a 4-run inning.
It very well could have been.
And if he doesn't make the catch in the 3rd, who knows, but definitely a run.
And the game of baseball can be mental, too, so when you see that not go your way from the Barnstormer side of things, it almost puts a damper on that motivation to go out there and knock some more in.
A strike taken by Giansani. It's now 2-1. You could talk about Hawkins and Navarro, but Giansani's play in the field
maybe an unsung hero.
Really made a difference in this ball game. Then you add to that the ball that Trayvon Robinson hit in the 5th inning with 2 men aboard that just fell foul. Deep into the left field corner. Ball 3 is outside from Sanchez. 5'11" right-hander from Waxahachie, Texas. 3 balls, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on in the 8th. Lancaster down 6. There's ball 4 as the Barnstormers give up their 7th walk of the evening. That 7 walks, topping the previous high this season by 2. Here's a ball club coming into tonight. 27 walks, 98 strikeouts in 87 innings. 7 walks, 4 Ks in this one.
Yeah, lopsided. Very different.
Kyle Kubitsa steps in, 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Sanchez inside and low. It is ball 1, no strikes. Derek Norris, the catcher, a right-handed batter, waits on deck. The Barnstormers, prior to action this evening, had also given up only 5 home runs for the year, and
Nearly
just
doubled
2 in the last 8 games.
Yeah. Well, it's...
Sanchez delivers. That is smashed foul past Terdoslavich and down the line.
Well, we're talking about pitching a little bit, and I think we have a chance to maybe talk about something outside of the field right now. How about Matt Harvey leaving the New York Mets, and he's been traded. So he was originally going to walk away from the team, but he's been traded now to the Cincinnati Reds. They're a low team as well, tied with the Orioles for worst in baseball. They get catcher Devin Mesoraco back. That's who the Mets will get, and that's been a weak position for them this season. So they get something out of that. And Matt Harvey, who wants to be a starter, not a bullpen guy, well, he's going to be given that shot with Cincinnati.
Way upstairs here for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Everything going well for the New York Yankees these days.
Oh, my.
They're unbelievably hot.
You got
in that 2-way race with Boston in the AL East.
Well, and it was funny because, you know, they signed Giancarlo Stanton or picked him up from Miami, and all that money that you take on with Stanton, but he gave you 59 home runs last year. Then he was batting horrible, but now, last 7 games, 6 home runs.
3 balls and 1 strike. I actually thought that Judge and Stanton in the same lineup could be a bad combination. All 4 is inside, first and second.
I think bad for other teams.
Well, I'm a big believer in a varied lineup, and you start running the same guy out there, pitchers can pitch him the same way.
Right.
And get into a rhythm. Derek Norris will step in with runners at first and second, as the Barnstormers staff now has walked 8 tonight. You walk 8, you give up 4 home runs, it's not a good night. 7-1 Sugar Land. This is the same pitching staff that last week gave up 16 singles and nothing else in a game. Line drive, that's over the third baseman Garcia down the left field line, headed into the corner. Giansani will score. Kubica will hold at third. Into second with an RBI double is Norris, and it is now 8-1.
Now first baseman number 16, Matt Chavez.
Matt Chavez, 2 for 4 tonight, will be the hitter. Those walks will hurt.
Well, you mentioned it. 8 walks, 4 home runs. Honestly, I think if you're not watching this game and you hear either of those numbers, you don't need the other one to know that the team that gave that up is probably not the winning team.
Matt Chavez steps in, taps it foul, back of De La Rosa.
I mean, even home runs aside, you walk 8 batters in a game. I'm surprised if you win a game like that.
It generally spells trouble. The 8 runs are on the board. Obviously, the 4 guys who hit the homers have scored. 3 of the other 4 runs have been guys who have walked.
Yeah.
The exception was Chavez aboard on a single back in the second inning, scored in front of the Courtney Hawkins home run. Kubica at third, Norris at second, 1 strike on Chavez, who backs away. Matt Chavez, a Californian from Redwood City. Ground ball here to shortstop. This will score a run. Frias will fire to first base. Vladimir thought about coming home with it initially and then decided why bother. It's now 9-1.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Chavez picks up the RBI as Kubica scores again, a guy who reached base on a walk.
Yeah, you sacrifice a run to just guarantee yourself an out at this point.
Here's Albert Cordero, who was seriously robbed last inning by the third baseman Garcia with the defensive gem of the game for the Barnstormers anyway. 2 runs across here on the top of the 8th. Lancaster now down by 8. Swing and a miss by Cordero. It is 0-1.
Albert Cordero voted Skeeter's Community Man of the Year last year. But you could argue his best days are well behind him. It came back in 2011. It was with Class A of Savannah and the New York Mets affiliate. Just brought them up with the Harvey deal. 44 RBIs that year.
To the mound. 1 hop to Sanchez. He'll peg to first. It will end the inning, but another productive frame for Sugar Land, picking up 2 runs on 1 hit with no errors. They leave 1. They'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. All Sugar Land. The Skeeters are up 9-1.
We can't help but always want more, especially on the road. More horsepower, heightened handling, elevated design. Get more out of your drive with a Lexus IS. Bold styling, track-tuned handling, available 311 horsepower. Experience the exhilaration of the IS 350 and IS 300. Available in F-Sport and all-wheel drive. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
Enjoy weekends with the Barnstormers all season long. Every Friday evening home game will feature a different giveaway ranging from t-shirts to beach towels to backpacks. On Saturdays, enjoy the best entertainment doubleheader there is with Barnstormers baseball followed by fireworks. Sundays are fun days at the ballpark. Get autographs from some of your favorite Barnstormers players and play catch on the field before the game. Once the game is over, it's a Domino's Pizza Kids Base Run. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark. Tommy Shirley will look to improve his record to 2-0 tomorrow night. He'll match up against Mitch Talbot, who, like Tommy, is 1-0 on the season. Game time is 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, we have a pitching change for the Skeeters. Dallas Beeler comes on for the 8th inning. Hunter Cervenka worked the 7th, gave up a base hit, struck out 1. Beeler will be 28 years of age. He's from Tulsa. Most recently pitched in the National League. He was a Cub back in 2016 for that last appearance. Big man, 6'5", 225 pounds. And when they wanted him to warm up in the bullpen, Pete Incaviglia called down there doing his best Ben Stein. Beeler. Beeler. Ryan Castile steps in. He is 0 for 1, sac fly, and he's also been hit by a pitch. Right-hander into the motion. Castile bounces this towards short, charging the play Navarro. He'll have time and gun down Castile, 1 out. Here in the 8th inning, Trayvon Robinson will step in. Robinson, 1 for 3.
Well, I mean, he's pitching, right? So I guess this is not Dallas Beeler's day off.
It is not.
Did not appear at all last season when undergoing Tommy John surgery. .90 ERA.
I find it ironic, though, that Beeler was a Cub.
Yeah.
Foul ball back. Good. It is 0-1 to Trayvon Robinson. Anderson De La Rosa is on deck. One of the classic movies of all time.
Yeah.
Loop down the left field line. That will curl foul. Trayvon trails 0-2. 9-1 Sugarland here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They've hit 4 home runs. They've drawn 8 walks. Barnstormers, meanwhile, in their second consecutive game without an extra base hit.
Yet.
Still 5 outs with which to work. 0-2. Big swing by Robinson. A foul ball into the screen. And we will continue with a count of no balls and 2 strikes.
Isn't it amazing how the offense goes from so explosive to just, you snap your fingers and quiet?
That can happen so easily.
I mean, not even 3-4 runs. Just, 1 over 18 innings now.
Beeler's off speed is low. Ball 1, 2 strikes.
And what's funny is, like you said, it could happen so easily, and then this score could be flipped come tomorrow.
It sure could. Here's a 1-2. Fastball missing low. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Robinson. 27.99 the crowd. Again, that's not bad for an early May Tuesday night.
Nope.
We have gorgeous weather here. Ball 3. Robinson with a chance to get on board.
Dallas Beeler, who's relief pitching right now for Sugarland, he singled off Washington Nationals pitcher Gio Gonzalez in his first ever MLB at-bat. That's a decent pitcher to have a hit off of. Not quite a Strasburg or a Scherzer, but Gio fits well in that rotation.
3-2. Here's the pitch, and Robinson goes gap in left center field. No one's getting to that on the fly. He splits the seam. A long way after it for Barrett Barnes. He's having some trouble digging it out from the base of the wall, and Robinson will coast all the way to third.
There's that extra base hit. I said yet. And good stuff from Trayvon Robinson. Regardless of the score, just trying to get the AB in, trying to put your best piece of lumber on the ball. And a stand-up triple for Trayvon Robinson.
Because of what Robinson had done previously, hitting the ball down toward the left field corner, Giansani was cheating that way. Barnes was to the right of straightaway center, and Robinson just split them right down the middle.
And I think by the time he rounded first, I think he already had triple in mind.
And then to add to it, Barnes had some trouble picking it up against the base of the wall. Anderson De La Rosa with a swing and a miss. It is 0-1. Trayvon Robinson with his second triple of the season stands at third with one out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. That ball was tagged to the opposite field.
And hey, credit the Barnstormers fans here at the Clipper Magazine Stadium. They're staying. Decent amount still here cheering on their Stormers. Happy to see that triple.
De La Rosa with a line drive over the head of the third baseman, Cordero. Down the line, rolling toward the corner. De La Rosa will dig for second. Here's the throw, and he is going to be tagged out. Robinson scores on the RBI base hit the left for Anderson De La Rosa. He was out by plenty at second, however. Now a 9-2 ball game, and Vladimir Frias will come to the plate. Ball was not hit all that hard by De La Rosa. Giansani hustled over and made the perfect throw.
Yeah.
You can't even say from the left field corner, from down the line, maybe about 290 feet away from home plate. And De La Rosa was out by plenty, rolled by Frias to the first baseman. And up with that is Chavez, an easy play, 3 unassisted. Lancaster gets 1 run back, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. As we go to the 9th, it's 9-2 Sugarland.
Enjoy a weeknight with the Barnstormers and leave with your wallet largely intact. Come on out on Munchie Mondays for all you can eat nachos, dogs, fries, popcorn, and soda for 2 hours. Or how about Koozie Tuesdays, where fans of legal age can enjoy $2 domestic drafts from 6:30 to 8. Bring your dog on Wiener Wednesdays and enjoy delicious dollar dogs as well. Or on Thrifty Thursday, popcorn is just $1, sodas are $2, and lawn seats are only $3. Call 717-509-HITS to order your tickets or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. And we'll see you at the ballpark.
Okay, John, shelves are stocked.
So are the new Fast Play games from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Just pick your game, get your ticket, and see if you've won.
Like word search, with top prizes of 20 grand.
Yep, winning's never been faster.
Not faster than me clearing these shelves.
Dude, I hope you're even faster at restocking.
Yeah.
Fast Play. Play fast, win instantly. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Well, we tip to the top of the 9th inning as this game rolls on here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Game 4 of a 6-game homestand for the Barnstormers to kick off their 2018 season. They're 6-4 on the year. Unfortunately, that is expected to drop a game right now. They trail at 9-2 if you're just now tuning in on the Barnstormers YouTube channel. Trayvon Robinson with a stand-up triple. He would eventually score on an attempt at a double by Anderson De La Rosa, although he was flagged down at second. Nonetheless, the Barnstormers do get a run across, and they trail by 7 going into the 9th. Andrew Mossbergs along with voice of the Barnstormers, Dave Collins. And we'll see if the Barnstormers can pull out any positives here in this final inning.
Steven Johnson on the hill for the top of the 9th inning, facing Courtney Hawkins. Fastball good for a strike. It is 0-1. Steven Johnson, bookending the ball game for the Barnstormers. Hawkins with a 3-run home run off of Steve Johnson back in the 2nd inning. Ball is outside 1-1. I think I brought this up before this season with having 2 guys on the team with the same name.
Yeah.
The Rochester Red Wings back in 1989, I think it was, had two right-handed relievers named Michael Anthony Smith.
Really?
Ball 2.
Same
passed
spelling?
Everything 2 and 1. Same spelling. They were built completely differently. You could easily tell one from the other, but they were referred to as Mississippi Mike and Texas Mike. Can't remember which the skinny guy was and which the burly guy was. But
well, they tried to make it work, I guess.
swing and a miss. Bottom fell out of that. Hawkins will bat at 2-2. Steven Johnson, lanky right-hander, 6'5", out of Austin, Texas. In his 5th game, he's allowed 4 hits, 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Here's the 2-2 offering, popped up right side. In comes Galen, back goes Turdoslavich. Galen will take charge along the line and make the catch, 1 out. Barrett Barnes will come to the plate. Another interesting situation with names took place in the 1985 Durham Bulls, where they had 2 pitchers, Maximo Rosario and Maximo Del Rosario, and they became referred to as Del and No Del.
Del and No Del.
Del and No Del. Binghamton one year had a pitcher and a catcher of the same name. They would be a battery. I can't remember exactly what that name was. Breaking ball low to Barnes, 1-0. I guarantee you're not going to have 2 Joey Turdoslaviches on the same team.
Maybe not, yeah.
That's not likely ever to happen.
No.
1 ball, no strikes to Barnes. Snap to the outside corner, make it 1-1. But here we are with 2 guys named Steven Johnson. We could refer to one as V and the other as PH if they both wanted to go by Steven, but the starter goes by Steve, the reliever goes by Steven. Driven down the right field line. That will curl foul. Barnes batting at 1-2.
I don't know that I have any story about 2 names that are exactly alike, both first and last name. I know of a lot of guys who share the same last name and they're not related in the hockey world, and that gets a little crazy when you have 5 guys with the same, 5 Giantas, but only 2 of them are related. Gianta doesn't sound like a very common last name.
I went to their high school.
Who?
Brian and Steven.
Brian and Steven,
yes.
yeah.
Went to the same high school they did.
Those are the 2 that I was thinking, although there are 3 others.
Aquinas Institute in Rochester, New York.
Wow.
Yep. Ryan Callahan's also from my neck of the woods, too. One of his high school classmates I work with during the winter.
Wow.
From Hilton High School.
Brian Gianta was captain of Team USA this past year.
Yep.
On Hockey Olympics in Pyeongchang.
Swing and a miss at the fastball. Down goes Barnes. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. And it will be Colin Walsh, who's 0 for 4. Yeah. I was obviously long before the Gianta brothers came along, but even back in the middle 70s when I was in school there, they were a hockey power.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Down a strike as Walsh.
Those are certainly some big names. Ryan Callahan could be on his way to another Stanley Cup appearance. Just different team this time. Tampa Bay.
Wasn't he one of the guys licked by Marchand? Didn't I see that somewhere?
Yeah. That's
just, I'm sorry. That's gross.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I don't know.
Popped up, foul territory. Now back into fair territory and handling it over the long haul is Carlos Garcia. Ball played some tricks on him. Perfect top of the 9th for Steven Johnson. We'll not talk anymore about hockey players licking one another.
Yeah.
We'll go to the bottom of the 9th, 9-2 Sugarland.
Learn from the pros right here in Lancaster. The Lancaster Barnstormers are offering 2 3-day-long youth clinics this summer with instruction on pitching, hitting, fielding, and base running. Each session, led by veteran professional players, will last from 9 until noon with lunch to follow. Choose from June 19th to 21st or July 24th to 26th. So learn what it takes to succeed on the field and off. Call the Barnstormers office at 717-509-HITS or go to LancasterBarnstormers.com. Space is limited. Act now.
Introducing the all-new Lexus RX 350L, designed for room. Room for a power-folding third row. Room for up to 7. And room for the unexpected. The 3-row RXL. It's the RX with room for more. Experience the innovative RXL and RXL Hybrid. See Bobby Rahal Lexus in Mechanicsburg.
RX 450HL arriving spring 2018.
So, bottom of the ninth, 7 runs. The Barnstormers trailing the Sugarland Skeeters in the first of this 3-game set that will take place over the middle of this week here in beautiful Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Dallas Beeler is going to stay out there, and so he'll go 2 innings. Non-save situation, of course. 9 hits for the Sugarland Skeeters, 8 for the Barnstormers, 2 errors committed by Lancaster also. One by Carlos Garcia, who is up to bat here as the Barnstormers are down to their final 3 outs.
Garcia 1 for 3 on the night. We'll see how far the Barnstormers can take this contest. Beeler into the motion. Garcia wraps this toward the middle, but behind it, the second baseman, Walsh. He fires on, 1 pitch, 1 away in the 9th inning for the Barnstormers. Darian Sanford stepping in, and he's been collared so far this evening. 2 groundouts, 2 strikeouts. Frustrating night at the plate for the Barnstormers center fielder. Back in the 4th inning when he struck out, he appeared to be upset with himself on that plate appearance. Not once, but twice. He took swings and fouled the ball off and acted like, oh, that was my pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And 8 stolen bases, leading the Atlantic League as he takes one inside and low for a ball. Sanford also reaching base safely in every game played, so he's got that streak on the line tonight as well, as he has not been able to do so yet.
Lancaster's had plenty of base runners in this game. Last a third and a nice pick by Cordero playing up. He will fire on to get Sanford 2 away.
And Sanford did everything he could to run up the line.
He has got blazing speed, really likes to take advantage of it from the left side of the plate, but that ball was hit pretty hard. Cordero with a nifty backhanded pick over at third, because he was so close to the plate on it.
Yeah.
Tyler Bortnick, who has been aboard 3 times tonight, the last hope for the Barnstormers. He has walked twice, reached on an infield base hit, has a run scored, has stolen a base. To Bortnick low. Ball 1, no strikes.
It's amazing when Sanford is up to bat. Doesn't matter, if the ball doesn't immediately get caught for an out, you have got to throw that ball over to first right away. He will challenge you.
Swing and a miss by Bortnick. The count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. The Barnstormers have only been out hit in this game 9-8.
1 hit difference, 7 runs though. Yeah.
Swing and a miss by Bortnick, and the Barnstormers are down to their final swing. 9-2 Sugarland. The differences, the walks and the home runs. One-two pitch. It is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blake Galen is on deck.
Beeler trying to catch Bortnick chasing, even with it being the last at-bat.
Wind and the 2-2 down and away.
I should say potentially the last at-bat. Bortnick might work out a walk here. He's already done that earlier in this game twice.
Bortnick up there with a full count. I would imagine that Danny Reynolds will get the win tonight. We'll check with Bill Hoffman to be sure. 3-2, and that's strike 3 on the outside corner. Barnstormers will look for better things out of tomorrow night. They go down 1-2-3 in the 9th inning here. We'll be back with the wrap-up show. That will be coming your way next. Our final score of this evening, the Sugar Land Skeeters 9 and the Lancaster Barnstormers 2.
Like craft beers, local wines? Well, the best place to be in Lancaster then is Clipper Magazine Stadium. That's right, all new for 2018 is the Broken Bat deck down the right field line. The Broken Bat will feature more than 20 local craft breweries and product from 2 local wineries. If something with a little more kick is your adult beverage of choice, a local distillery is part of the Broken Bat as well. Food will be sold off a pub-style menu, so get together, hang out with your friends, make some new ones, and enjoy a night of craft beer sampling along with a Barnstormers game.
AMT Concerts presents Rock at the Park Festival, Saturday, July 21st, featuring sets from Fuel, Eve 6, Sister Hazel, Long Beach Dub All-Stars, Fastball, and more. Rock at the Park, Saturday, July 21st, at Clipper Magazine Stadium, Lancaster. Tickets on sale now at rockatthepark.com.
The Barnstormers looking to win this series and pick up a game on the Sugar Land Skeeters, but now to do that, they'll have to take the final 2 as the Skeeters, a team brand new to Clipper Magazine Stadium, coming in here like they own the place tonight with 4 home runs to that short porch in right field. They take the series opener by a score of 9-2. Welcome back to the wrap-up show along with Andrew Mossbrooks, Dave Collins with you. The line totals on tonight's game for Sugar Land: 9 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 8 left. And for the Barnstormers, 2 runs on 8 hits with 2 miscues and 9 runners left on base. The win goes to Danny Reynolds, scorer's decision, as the starter Griset had come out of the ball game 1 out shy of eligibility for the win. Reynolds with the win, he's 1-0. Steve Johnson, the starter and loser for the Barnstormers, he is now 1-1. No save here tonight. 4 home runs for the Sugar Land Skeeters. Courtney Hawkins, his 3rd of the year. He went oppo in the 2nd inning with 2 men aboard. Then Ray Navarro cracked a pair. He just joined the ball club earlier in the day, so obviously his 1st and 2nd home runs of the year on his 1st and 2nd Atlantic League at-bats. And then Albert Cordero capped the home run spree with his 1st of the season, a leadoff blast in the 5th inning. 2 hours, 58 minutes, the time of game here this evening in front of 2799 at Clipper Magazine Stadium. The Barnstormers fall here 9-2, and obviously Lancaster was beaten by the home runs and the walks tonight. It could have been a closer ball game if the Barnstormers could have gotten the right hit to left field at the right time. Giansani snuffed out 2. 1 just went foul. That probably took away 3 or 4 runs from the Barnstormers along the way here this evening. Still, though, the story, the walks and the home runs.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said earlier, you don't need one without the – really, you could do one without the other, and you would still think the end result is a loss. 8 walks, 4 home runs. Those kinds of numbers are too lopsided to expect to win a ball game like that. And there were a couple of differences, that being one of them. There are obviously the left field notes that you talked about. Pitching on both sides of the plate, both sides team, I didn't think it was anything out of this world. The Barnstormers had a few hits. I mean, they were what, 1 hit less, yet they fell down by 7 runs being the difference there. Ray Navarro, didn't even know his number 2 hours before the game started. An hour before the game started, I don't even know if we knew his number. But now you're going to remember 32 if you see him in the lineup tomorrow, and I think he's given the coaching staff a reason to be put in the lineup. He knocks the first 2 out of the park. And over in right field, that was an area that this ballpark can be exposed for. I think it's a little surprising when it's the visiting team that's able to expose it more than the team that calls it home. These games are going to happen. The quick thing is, and the important thing is, to just respond quickly, because now you're looking at 19 innings, and over your last 19 innings, you've driven 2 runs in, and that was in this game. So you go from 42 runs in 5 games, and you win all of those, to the complete opposite of that. So Ross Peoples, very smart clubhouse manager. He's going to know what buttons to push here. They'll have Shirley on the mound tomorrow. That's a veteran presence out there for Lancaster, and hopefully they can turn things around and get the win and give themselves a chance to win this series Thursday morning.
There were things to like about tonight's game. One was the effort turned in by Garrett Granitz. 2 strong innings of relief, and they didn't do much after he came in the ball game. I think that may be something to look out for the rest of the series. Granite's the kind of guy to have on your pitching staff because he comes from that unusual angle down underneath, can disrupt the timing of a red-hot hitting ball club. So we can maybe look for that over the next couple of days. After Granite's came into the ball game, only 1 additional hit over the last 4 innings tonight for the Sugarland Skeeters. And there were some guys I thought looked very good at the plate tonight. Joey Terdoslavich reached base 3 times. Trayvon Robinson hit the ball hard at least once every time up. In the 5th inning, it was the foul ball down the left field line. The other 3 times, balls in play. The out in the 1st, sharply stroked the shortstop, and then Robinson with a single in the 4th and the triple to the gap in left center field. In the 8th inning, Tyler Bortnick had a fairly productive night at the plate as well. So looking at the positives out of tonight's game, let's add Ryan Castile in there. He hit the ball hard every time up, 3 times with the bat, once I think with his shin, but hit the ball fairly hard every time up. I don't want to make lightly of that. Castile was the guy robbed twice by Anthony Giansani early in the ballgame.
Yeah, and I'm running struggling innings together here with the whole stat of 19 innings and only 2 runs across in that time. But this game was very different than the previous 9 innings we saw Sunday afternoon against York, in which the team only was able to drag across 5 hits and they got no runs over the plate. You know, this one had the hitting, and the guys like Castile, who didn't get credit for a hit, could have had the ball went 3 feet to the right instead. There's just a couple of little things, and that's the game of baseball. It's a game of inches. We talked about analytics so much, and just how measured this game is, in my opinion, versus any other sport. There's no more than baseball, where games of inches become reality just so often. And so does it for the Barnstormers. Another thing we talked about, and you already sort of touched on, is Granite's 2 innings, the submarine arm guy. He's able to come in and help out the Barnstormers. And when you look at this, Steve Johnson only going 4 innings as a starter, but you only needed to use 5 arms total. That's really not that bad considering what the score is. Some teams end up having to use 7 in that case. So Lancaster still with a couple of arms fresh. And, again, we talk about Shirley tomorrow, and he's a big guy that this team relies upon to get good innings out of. And a longer leash this time around for him, because Ross People still talked about everybody's first time around being around 70 pitches, their second time around 85 to 90. We saw that Brooks Hall throwing 93 on Sunday afternoon. So maybe a longer leash for Shirley. And certainly, in the way that baseball works, these Barnstormers are looking for revenge. They want to show that they can compete with the Sugarland Skeeters. They thought that was going to be the case tonight. Unfortunately, just not in the cards in terms of the run production, but they know they can get hits off the pitching. They know what they need to improve upon, and certainly the pitchers need to pitch away from allowing hitters go to the right side of the field. But, hey, another day tomorrow, right? There's many of them in baseball. 126 in this league, and that's what the Lancaster Barnstormers need to do for tomorrow.
Sugarland strikes first here this evening with the 9-2 victory. Elsewhere in the Atlantic League, New Britain over Long Island 5-2. The Road Warriors shut down Somerset 3-0, and York pasted Southern Maryland by a final score of 12-2 here this evening. Our ball game tonight, we didn't give you the play-by-play rundown. We'll do that very quickly. A sacrifice fly with the bases loaded for Ryan Castile back in the 1st inning. And we talk about the almost tonight for the Barnstormers on offense. The ball was hit very hard by Castile with the bases loaded, 1 out in that 1st inning. And it looked like Giansani initially was blinded by the sun reflecting off the skyboxes. The ball came out of that, but he made a great last-second reaction, the diving catch going to his right, and if he misses that, instead of a sac fly, that could be a 2 or 3 run double on that play, and who knows where that inning goes, who knows where this game goes if that ball gets through. Instead, the Barnstormers scored just 1, and Sugarland unleashed its home run salvo starting in the second inning. 3-run shot by Courtney Hawkins and a solo blast by Navarro. Navarro added his second home run in the fourth inning. They were also able to tack on an RBI single by Kyle Kubica there, making it a 6-1 ball game, 7-1 on the Cordero home run in the fifth inning, and 9-1 in the eighth. A couple of walks followed by a Derek Norris double and a ground out by Matt Chavez, a triple by Trayvon Robinson, and a single by Anderson De La Rosa, capping the scoring here tonight, but far too little too late for the Barnstormers in the game tonight. Meanwhile, we'll check the Major League scoreboard. The Orioles have closed in oh so slightly. It is 15-3 Kansas City now in the bottom of the ninth inning. The Yankees one up on the Red Sox, 3-2 in favor of the Bombers. Stanton with a pair of home runs tonight. It is 3-2, as I said, bottom of the eighth inning. The Yankees with a win can tie the Red Sox for first place, the two heavyweights in the AL East duking it out. The Milwaukee Brewers are up 3-2 over the sliding Cleveland Indians. That is in the bottom half of the eighth inning. Marlins and the Cubs tied 3-3 in Chicago. They're in the bottom half of the seventh. Detroit is up 5-2 over Texas in the top half of inning number 8. The Chicago White Sox up 5-4 over Pittsburgh in the fifth inning. Colorado leads the Angels 1-0 bottom six. The Astros and the A's just getting underway out in Oakland. They're in the first inning as well. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, no score in L.A. The Nationals failed to put anything on the scoreboard in the top of the first inning. Earlier, the Minnesota Twins bumped off the St. Louis Cardinals. Final score 7-1 by the Arch. Phillies over the Giants 4-2. The Mariners with a no-hitter against the Toronto Blue Jays today. Final score was 5-0. Paxton with the no-hitter for the Seattle Mariners in the ball game today at the Rogers Center. What a performance. That is the second no-hitter.
Only needed 99
in
pitches.
Major League Baseball this season as Paxton goes all the way, walked 3, and he struck out 7 for Seattle today. The 5-0 no-hitter for a man who, of all things, is a Canada native. James Paxton with the no-hitter.
He can still root for Winnipeg in Game 7 against the Predators.
So
he's a hockey enthusiast.
Hats off to James Paxton.
Yeah,
for the no-hitter this afternoon. Reds over the Mets. Final score there was 7-2. Man who may have my favorite name in baseball, Scooter Gennett, with a home run for the Reds. And it was a pitcher's duel in Tampa. The Braves outlasting the Rays by a score of 1-0. Here tonight, Sugarland over the Barnstormers 9-2 as the Barnstormers drop 2 in a row for the second time this season. They fall to 6-5 on the campaign overall. We'll be coming your way again tomorrow evening as Tommy Shirley will be taking them out against Mitch Talbot, left-hander for the Barnstormers, right-hander for the Skeeters. Join Andrew and myself at 6:45 tomorrow evening with the Gockenauer Home Appliances Dugout Report. Play-by-play baseball will follow. Until then, for Joey Greer, for Andrew Mossbrooks, and for all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you at the ballpark.